It's another JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and streaming on WJR.com, where Michigan comes to talk.
6:05 here on a Tuesday. Good to have you. Another busy day here on the show, and obviously tracking very closely what's happening with these negotiations with Iran. The president said yesterday that an extension of this ceasefire is unlikely. And
unlikely, yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It kind of tracks what we were talking about yesterday, that when you talk the kind of talk and the rhetoric that Donald Trump does, at some point, you probably need to follow through. Whether that's right or wrong is completely different. But from a policy standpoint, it's hard to keep kicking the can down the road. And that's kind of what this Iranian regime has been known for. Yeah. As you get closer to a deal, they kind of pause, they hesitate, they blink, and all of a sudden you're going down a different path.
Well, and I still feel that, like the ceasefire expires tomorrow. I just have a feeling that Iran will decide that they want to sit down and talk right before, it expires, because the president has said, either sign a deal or, get blown up, according to him.
Meanwhile, J.D. Vance and our delegation left for Pakistan. And again, Vice President J.D. Vance is expected to lead those negotiations. Now, what's interesting here is, again, we talked where J.D. Vance's position was before this war started, and he didn't think this was a good idea.
No, not at all.
It feels like a really important moment for J.D. Vance. Because, yes, he's the leader of the pack when you look at some of these internal pollings from the Republican Party. But Marco Rubio's kind of right on his heels. And again, this is a jockeying for position stance at this point.
Okay.
But when you're talking about negotiating a major deal like this, putting J.D. Vance at the front and center feels like this is an opportunity for him.
Yes.
He's being given a chance.
Yes.
Not to say that the vice president shouldn't be involved or couldn't be involved in these conversations. Historically, they're not.
They're not.
Generally.
Yeah, right.
But again, the administration is using J.D. Vance in a very different way than, say, the Biden administration used Kamala Harris.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right. And so he's much more frontward facing, where Kamala Harris was not. And so it kind of feels like maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic. Put up or shut up. Like, are you a real diplomat? Are you somebody that is going to be able to carry a ticket?
Yeah.
Or is it a lot of smoke and mirrors right now?
I agree.
Regardless, it's going to be important. Meanwhile, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, the Iranian parliamentary speaker, said on X that Trump, by imposing a blockade and violating the ceasefire, seeks, in his view, to turn the negotiating table to surrender or to justify renewed warmongering. We do not accept negotiations under the shadow of threat, and over the past 2 weeks, we have prepared to reveal new cards on the battlefield. Bluster.
I don't know.
Bluster.
I don't believe that.
That's a bluff.
Yeah,
I'm going all in.
Yeah, right.
Now, again, I don't know that we as the public expected the Strait of Hormuz to be quote unquote closed by the Iranians. But again, now that we've put our blockade in place, it seems relatively like they didn't have much of a military position there that they would have been able to impact the travel through the strait.
They were I think they were doing a lot of bluffing, with the mining and all of that stuff. I mean, I know they supposedly have put mines down, but then they forgot where they were, and then we had sent mine vessels through there. I haven't heard anything about any mines exploding going through there. And so I think there was a lot of bluff until we got there and did it ourselves.
Meanwhile, Iraq and Syria are talking to maybe open a key border crossing that would offer an alternative oil route to the Strait of Hormuz. This hasn't been opened in more than a decade, this crossing.
Okay.
And there is, you've got all of these experts, particularly on the oil side, the trade side, that are looking at this and going, well, this is not an area that we can have blocked by a blockade. We need to have travel through there. And if Iran is not going to play ball, if they're going to continue to threaten these ships that are going through the strait, what's the alternative? Well, now they're talking Iraq and Syria maybe opening this alternative route, and that might increase travel. It might be another way to transport these goods.
And I'm thinking it might have an effect on oil prices.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
Well, in the market yesterday, oil went down, stocks went up.
Yes.
So again, but we're seeing still, and I thought maybe we might be getting away from it a little bit, but the markets are still very much watching what's happening here.
Yes.
So as Friday, when the president signaled great optimism that they were on the heels of a deal, you saw oil plummet, stocks shot all the way up. Well, now we run into a wall. It's a first loss in about 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're seeing again the fluctuation a little bit. But as these talks look like maybe they're going to go, JD Vance and the delegation are going to go.
Mm-hmm.
We saw prices go down, stocks go up, and that's a good thing.
Water levels at the Sheboygan Lock and Dam complex dipped slightly yesterday, dropping nearly 3/8 of an inch as state officials say conditions are slowly improving. The Sheboygan River remains high, but officials report no rain in the forecast and say current safeguards appear to be holding pretty good. At midday yesterday, the river sat just under 8 inches below the top of the dam, with state crews continuing around-the-clock efforts to manage the water flow, and officials with the Department of Natural Resources say multiple upstream dams are operating normally while contingency plans remain in place if conditions worsen. Under Michigan's Ready, Set, Go system, residents near the river being told to stay prepared in case evacuation orders are issued if water rises to within an inch of the dam's crest. Engineers say flooding is not expected unless water exceeds the dam by roughly a foot, thanks to sandbagging and massive pump operations moving hundreds of millions of gallons daily. And officials emphasize the situation is still fluid, but say coordinated efforts across multiple dams and emergency systems are helping stabilize one of northern Michigan's most closely watched flood threats. So every day, a little better each day.
Good news that there isn't immediate rain in the forecast.
Exactly.
And they're just working it. Staying very much on top of it. Meanwhile, some new technology coming to DTW.
Yeah, parking at Detroit Metro getting a high-tech upgrade designed to take the guesswork out of finding a spot. Now, a new parking guidance system now being tested inside the McNamara Terminal Garage. The system uses overhead colored lights, green to show an open space, red to indicate a spot is taken, helping drivers quickly see where to park as they move through the structure. Airport officials say the system's still in the testing phase, so accuracy may not be fully reliable yet, and some display features like directional arrows are not currently active. Once fully operational later this year, though, drivers will be able to see real-time parking availability by level, aisle, and individual space. And after the McNamara Garage is complete, the technology is expected to roll out in the Big Blue Deck as well.
Cool.
So that's always cool, man, when trying to find a space, because especially when you're like behind.
Oh, God, been there.
You try to get a space so you can get to the plane, so
been
you
there.
Get through TSA.
Been there.
Yeah. I think we've all had that experience.
I remember there was a few years ago, I mean, probably 10 years ago now, where I was, you sometimes you get to the airport and you could park in one of those auxiliary lots.
Sure, yeah.
Right, a little cheaper, whatever.
Right.
And I made my plane. It was fine. I had plenty of time. And then I had plans to do that again. Just a couple months later, I was taking another flight. And I got so behind. I'm like, I got to park right there.
Yeah.
And I was only gone for a few days. So I'm like, whatever. I got to just do it. I got to get there and park. And I probably could have parked at one of the auxiliary lots and gotten there faster because I'm driving and weaving, trying to find a spot. So it's cool that they're going to add a little extra technology there where you can see where they've got some open spots. Tigers lose yesterday 8-6. A 2-run single in the bottom of the 7th put the Red Sox over the top for good. And in that rare early game, because of the Boston Marathon.
It started like around 11.
Yeah, 11-10. Yeah, Jack Flaherty only lasted 3 1/3, walked 6, struck out 3. Again, this is one of the questions going into the season is what kind of season is Jack Flaherty going to have?
Yeah.
Is he going to be more like he was a couple of years ago or more like he was last year? And so far, it hasn't been great for Jack Flaherty. Got an ERA of 3.4, a 1.59 whip. So not quite where we want Jack Flaherty to be, but it's still early in the season.
Yeah.
Tigers now.
They play the Brewers.
Play the Brewers.
Tonight.
Yep, they are 12-11, just their second loss in 10 games.
Yeah.
So they've gone on a little run here, which is nice. Coming up on the other side, Jason Rowe's going to join us. We're going to talk about these negotiations between the United States and Iran. What are the ramifications of getting a deal or not getting a deal? It's next on JR Morning.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Listen for the SAE Ion Engineering every Monday morning on JR Morning. Ion Engineering is sponsored by CSP, the Composite Solutions Partner, an industry leader in lightweighting and advanced composites. Learn more at thecsp.com.
The Novi Home and Garden Show returns April 24th through 26th to the Vibe Credit Union Showplace.
Meet hundreds of experts, get thousands of ideas, and save big with special show-only pricing.
Step inside a spring oasis of beautiful landscapes, plant life, and water features.
Tour 8 homes in the Manufactured Home Showcase.
Shop local artisans and crafters in the Michigan Marketplace.
And learn from gardening experts on our tips and trend stage.
Join us April 24th through 26th.
Get discount tickets at novihomeshow.com.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Detroit at 313-312-0950. That's 313-312-0950. 313-312-0950. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationdetroit.com.
Hey there, JR listeners. Chris Alberta from Principium. Look, I have an urgent message for you today about your retirement. I don't care if you already retired, you're a few months away, or you're a few years away. You're going to be unemployed soon. And you probably don't have a pension because you are your pension. Recent all-time highs in the market. Look, you're at the top of the mountain. And now we're in an Iranian conflict. AI might replace your job. And like it or not, you could be retired as long as you were working. But despite all that, it's the best time I have ever seen in my career to build you a retirement plan. The fixed rates are unbelievably good. Income models are killing it. You combine that with top-notch market management, and you're going to win. If you wait, you will lose. These rates will go down. You remember the 4% rule? My clients are using the 7% rule. They'll always have a paycheck, and that's freedom. Don't wait. Call me now, 888-800-8949. Call me, Chris Alberta, 888-800-8949.
Your morning is busy, so we'll keep it brief. Upgrade your routine with WJR's 5 Things First Thing. JR Morning with Chris, Lloyd, and Jamie break down the top 5 stories in just 5 minutes. Delivered straight to your device. Start your day by hitting play. Subscribe today on the always free WJR app.
Vince Colonnese is redefining news talk.
I'm Vince Colonnese, host of the Vince Podcast. I'm bringing you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories.
In-depth interviews.
We feature news-making interviews with the top guests on the whole planet. And I'll ask the questions you only dream of other interviewers asking.
And a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day.
It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America. You are going to love Vince.
The Vince Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
I'm Ann Thomas. Congratulations to the 2026 Women Who Lead class. Andrea Nicolella, Nino Salvaggio co-owner, says quality and service sets Nino's apart.
That's what our business is thrived on. My father always said, you give them quality, you give them service, and you worry about your own 4 walls. Don't worry about what the guy down the street's doing. Don't worry about what he's doing. Worry about yourself.
Special thanks to University of Michigan Health von Voigtlander Women's Hospital for supporting Women Who Lead.
Awareness is a start, but acceptance creates change.
This April, join fellow Michiganders for Autism Acceptance Month. Help build a world where everyone truly belongs. Take the next step at autism-mi.org. Accept, include, support.
Play Weingart's Mow Master Challenge. You could win $500 toward a new mower or lawn equipment. A healthy lawn is a happy lawn, and you need quality tools to keep yours growing green. Here's your Mow Master question. In the spring when grass grows quickly, what is the recommended mowing frequency? Text keyword lawn followed by your answer to 800-859-0957. Need a hint? Find answers and official rules at WJR.com.
Everything from lawn to snow. WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. The only thing better than grabbing a Blizzard treat on a warm, sunny day would be snagging a second one for just 99 cents with the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. It's buy one Blizzard treat, get another one for just 99 cents when you order in the DQ app. DQ. Happy tastes good. For limited time at participating U.S. locations.
No crashes on the roadways this Tuesday morning. Square Lake westbound between Lasser and Telegraph. The right lane is closed for construction till tomorrow. Eastbound 94, the off-ramp to 21 Mile. Right lane closed there till 3 p.m. on Saturday. Right lane is also closed on eastbound Grand River near Joy Road till Saturday. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Weather Seal Home Improvements. Want to save big on your roof replacement? Visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com and get free gutters with your roof project this spring. Get a free estimate instantly and get free gutters with your roof replacement. That's a great deal from Weather Seal. Find out how much your roof should cost at WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. Here's your forecast.
Wow, the weather continuing to push in now. Clouds give way to sunshine today. There could be a sprinkle of rain this morning. That southwest breeze will push us close to 70. Tonight in the mid-40s, a few clouds. Suburbs, maybe a little bit cooler. Wednesday, more sunshine and 70. And a good-looking Thursday, sunshine, 75. Chance of showers Friday afternoon. For the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Coming up at 2 o'clock on JR Afternoon, is there peace? Will we be talking about a deal between the United States and Iran? The vice president in Pakistan will have those talks and so much more when we see you, 2 o'clock, JR Afternoon.
So will the Iranians come to the table? That's the question, because J.D. Vance and our delegation is in
there.
They're there, I guess.
There.
Yeah, they're there by now.
Uh-huh.
But this, now as we sit here today and go, okay, well, the Iranians keep saying that they're not going to negotiate with the aggressor.
Yes.
But I think they know it would behoove them to make a deal as opposed to spending a lot more money repairing bridges and infrastructure later on, because that's what the president's threatening once again if the ceasefire expires on Wednesday without a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like an important moment for these negotiators. It certainly feels like an important moment for J.D. Vance. Jason Rowe, the political strategist with Rowe Strategic, joins us to talk about it. Jason, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys.
How consequential are these talks at this point?
Well, I mean, we've been navigating this ceasefire, which hasn't really brought the results that I think everyone hoped. I think the administration kind of, crumbled to public pressure on the ceasefire. I think it was probably a mistake. I think we should have maintained a sustained assault until they finally submitted. We gave them a little breathing room, and I think that gave them the opportunity to create some leverage by seizing the Strait of Hormuz. And so that has become a pretty significant leverage. And now we're applying a blockade and trying to use that to force them to the negotiation table, coupled with these threats. But I think it's going to be pretty embarrassing for the vice president to show up for a negotiation and not have Iran show up for a negotiation. And some of the things I've read are that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard has put pressure on the Iranian leadership not to negotiate. But I think, at the end of the day, we have to remember that unlike some of the other countries that we've been in conflict with, this country is led by religious extremists who martyrdom is a real thing. I don't think they care to die in pursuit of jihad and their cause. And so we're not dealing with rational actors. And that's where I think the mistake of the ceasefire is kind of laid bare.
And Jason, the ceasefire is over tomorrow, and the president says, "Listen, if they don't sign a deal, there are going to be more bombs." Is he kind of pushed up against the wall? If there's no deal, are we sure to see more military from the U.S. side?
Well, I feel like we had this conversation about 2 weeks ago, and it didn't happen. So, that's I think also part of the frustration that the president seems to draw red lines and then not follow through on the threats. And so I think Iran understands that they can, play a game here. Again, this underscores why the ceasefire was a mistake. I mean, we're not dealing with rational actors, and we're not even sure that the people that we're negotiating with are in a position to speak on behalf of the regime. And that's in part because of the military success. I mean, we have decapitated their senior leadership. And that's why, I think the first 2 weeks were so brilliantly executed. We should have maintained that path. But I think we thought as a nation that we were so decisive, and it was such a flex of our military power. Not only that, our intelligence capabilities as well as Israel's, and how we removed their leadership, both in terms of assassinations and military actions. But can you imagine the egg on the face of the vice president standing there waiting for the Iranian delegation to show up? And they don't. It's not a great look. It makes us look weak. I do think Trump being Trump will respond militarily to that kind of an affront. So I guess the real question is, what do the Iranians do? Do they show up? Do they realize that we've got them, or are they just going to continue to play this game?
Yeah, I think it's fair, a fair observation that if they don't show up, that's going to be problematic. And again, I think that, to Lloyd's point, whether or not that Donald Trump will cross that red line again, if we get stood up at the date, well, that becomes more problematic. And to your point, to show the show of force after being, left at the table alone for several hours is going to be something that we're watching for. I'm curious to know what you think of J.D. Vance's position here as the lead negotiator. He came in as somebody who didn't want to get into this conflict, but now here we are, and he's the one leading the talks. Is this an opportunity for him to kind of separate himself from other contenders a couple years down the road?
Well, I do. I think it, is the highest level proxy to Trump himself. So it, in a sense, I think it is a show of respect to the Iranians that the vice president goes. If the vice president can negotiate a deal, this is kind of consistent with what his position was prior to the war. If he can say that he was involved in being a peacemaker on this, that this kind of, I think, absolves him of his role in the attack on Iran to a degree. He still has obviously voiced support for what the administration has been doing. But, for a long time, it was Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, National Security Advisor, and Commissioner to the NFL, who has been out there leading on the foreign policy stuff with Vance kind of taking a back seat, though he did go to Hungary to try to pump up Viktor Orban in his reelection. He obviously lost his reelection, and so that probably was a little bit of a ding in J.D. Vance's reputation. But this is a real opportunity for him to show some international leadership, and I think take credit for bringing this to a conclusion if they show up and if we reach a deal.
If is the big word there. Jason Rowe, appreciate your thoughts as always. Thank you. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, we're going to talk about Bernie Sanders and the UAW teaming up on AI. It's next.
Hey, did you hear about that multi-billion-dollar Roundup settlement?
Yeah, it impacts people who are exposed to weed killers at work or at home, even if you just used it in your own yard. Lawsuits claim it causes non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a blood cancer.
But we're not sick, so that doesn't affect us.
But it does. This cancer can take 10 to 15 years to show up.
That's a long time after exposure.
It is, and that's why the settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you get sick, even years from now, you could get $6,000 to $165,000 or more as part of this settlement.
So what's the catch?
If you stay in, you give up the right to sue them later.
Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 1-888-403-8201. If you or a loved one has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, even if they've passed, you must register for benefits. That's weedkillerclass.com. 1-888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Looking to get organized? Turn to shelving.com for storage solutions built around you, from wire shelving to full Unirack pallet racking systems. Their team designed turnkey facilities to meet your needs. Explore their products online today.
Shelving.com, we rack your world.
My name is Lou Guglielmetti, Managing Partner with Asset Preservation Michigan. Our team of professionals will help prepare you for your retirement years, maintain your lifestyle, and some new avenues of income. Please visit us at assetpreservationmi.com to plan for your future.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Security very tight in Pakistan, but will the Islamic Republic give peace a chance?
So Iranian state media this morning saying that no delegation from Iran has visited Pakistan, and it comes after what we've seen in the last several days, Iran saying that they might not even show up. Right now, preparations are underway for these high-stakes new rounds of talks. Vice President J.D. Vance is set to lead the American delegation.
Fox's Alex Hogan in Washington. Voting underway. Commonwealth Virginia on the table, changing voting maps that could shortly favor Democrats.
Already, more than 1 million people, 1.3 million Virginians have cast their ballot. Right now, 11 congressional districts, with Democrats controlling 6. Democrats would gain a 10-1 advantage in House seats.
That's if the Democrats prevail. That's Fox's Mark Meredith reporting. The polls close at 7 p.m. Eastern. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Capital One Bank. What's in your wallet? Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts. And most Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
One crash on the roads right now. That's eastbound 96 after Latson, Square Lake westbound between Losser and Telegraph. Right lane closed there till tomorrow. The eastbound 94 off-ramp to 21 Mile. You're going to find the right lane closed till 3 p.m. on Saturday. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Mix of clouds and sunshine today. A high of 73. Right now, it's 44. Partly cloudy tonight. A low of 51. Sunshine tomorrow. High of 74. I'm Renee Vitale. WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Hi, friends. Bill Golling here, celebrating 60 years of the Golling Automotive Group with recent additions of the new Golling Chevrolet on Michigan Avenue in Wayne and the new Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Mack in Detroit. Now even more of you can see and experience the Golling difference. Those dealerships join Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram locations in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, and Roseville, Golling Alfa Romeo Fiat in Birmingham, Golling Buick GMC in Lake Orion, Golling Toyota in Warren, Golling Kia in Madison Heights, or always at Golling.com.
Join us for a thrilling night of action at the annual Fight Night event on April 29th. Don't miss out on the adrenaline-pumping experience at the Palazzo Grande. Experience the thrill of the ring at Thrilla Gives annual Fight Night event on April 29th. Tickets are flying off the shelves, so purchase yours today.
My name is Jenny Brown. I am the CEO of Dutton Farm. We are a nonprofit in the behavioral health system. One of the things that we are so grateful for in our partnership with Tryon is the absolutely incredible customer service that anytime we have a question or a concern, we can call up the customer service department and we'll get an immediate and effective answer. And that's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
At EasyCater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. The 9 a.m. staff meeting? How about breakfast burritos and lots of coffee? Big client presentation at noon? Let's do Mediterranean bowls. Accounting's gotta work late. Keep them pepped up with spicy noodles. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
ITC, the nation's largest independent electricity transmission company, based right here in Michigan, is working every day across the state to modernize the grid. Learn more at itc-holdings.com.
Paul W. Smith can be found on Focus from noon to 2 p.m. on 760 WJR. Now back to JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
So we talk a lot about what impact artificial intelligence is going to have on the job market.
Yeah.
Right? And what kind of jobs are going to be targeted first? Well, the UAW's president, Sean Fain, joined Bernie Sanders and a host of other leaders from different unions last week at a press conference in Washington, D.C. And their stance is AI is going to have major consequences to the labor market here in the United States. And it is going to have ramifications, not just in the business world, but it's going to have major ramifications, for example, in the auto sector. An interesting piece in the Detroit Free Press by Liam Rapley, who joins us this morning to talk about it. Liam, it's good to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So what's the position here that Sean Fain was taking? Obviously, Bernie Sanders has been outspoken on artificial intelligence as well.
Well, it's an interesting one, right? Because he has to be a realist about this, right? He represents all of these members. He can't just say AI is bad, we don't want it, off with it. He has to take a stance of some sort of action. And what he is calling for, and what Senator Sanders is calling for, is for this technology to be regulated. Sanders wrote a bill sort of saying that there should be a moratorium on data centers until Congress passes some regulation on AI. And that was sort of the thrust of Sanders' message and Fain's message, was that, look, we know that the companies are going to use AI in some way. That can't take our jobs. We need the right to negotiate how that affects our jobs. And that's what he's asking for. He's not foolish enough to believe that AI just won't affect the auto market, or, for that matter, any of the industries that the UAW represents.
And and when people in Michigan hear AI, Liam, they immediately think job loss. And are we talking about robots replacing line workers, or is this more about white collar disruption, like your engineers and your designers and accountants inside these companies?
That's a great question. What it is it's not most of the jobs on the line that could have been turned into robots. The companies have already done that. But what this looks like is, for example, the technology that Stellantis has in a factory in Sterling Heights is a robot that can go down all of the warehouses and scan all of the inventory, and it can create this map of all of the inventory of all the products that Stellantis has in the warehouse. That takes a human about a week. It takes this robot about 90 minutes, right? So it's technology like that. Now, also, when Sean Fain is talking about this, he represents higher education workers. So, AI grading of tests, right? That's your classic ChatGPT. So this artificial intelligence is really smart, and there's lots of ways that it can affect the worker that you might not see, right?
Yeah.
But in white collar too. White collar, of course. I mean, I think that this presents as much a risk for white collar workers as it does blue collar.
Well, and the other part too is there's been a kind of tug of war about who should be putting these regulations in place, whether that's the state governments or the federal government, to create a unified piece of regulation on artificial intelligence, and that probably complicates things for people like the UAW as well.
That's right. The union has to negotiate this with their employer. So on that fine level, that has to happen. But if there's nothing overarching, no law in Michigan or no law in federally, which good luck getting anything passed federally. If there's none of that, there's nothing they can point to and say you're breaking the law. Instead, they would point to it and say you're breaking our contract. But really, with all of these great shakeups, Sanders made a point of this. They all end up becoming regulated, right? And so he wants to make that happen right now. It's true roll of the dice if it will, though.
Liam Rapley at the Free Press. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. We'll talk again soon. Good piece.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank
you.
Yeah, you got
Bye-bye.
it. And we're seeing more and more younger kids coming out of high school, college age kids that are turning to the skilled trades. Why? Because the idea here is hopefully those are AI proof. That whether or not, somebody's going to be able to come in and do your taxes, right? You still are going to need rewiring if you need to put a switch in.
Absolutely.
Now, just wait until Elon's robots start coming in.
They're running races.
They're running races. They're beating everybody
right
in the Beijing Marathon by like almost 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But all they got to do is drive in on a Waymo and they'll come in and fix you know what I mean? I'm joking.
Yeah.
But eventually maybe, right? But you look at where things are going. If you're, who should be really worried are these people out in Hollywood.
Oh, definitely.
If you're an actor, an actress,
or a
writer, good luck, because this is right around the corner.
Right around
this
the corner.
thing's coming.
Yeah.
And if you are, somebody who does law, if you're a CPA, all of these things are going to be very difficult to overcome at some point. So to the point of Sean Fain, and again, I don't agree with a lot of what Sean Fain or Bernie Sanders has to say, almost exclusively, but this idea of, well, what kind of impact is this going to have on jobs? I think that's a real question that needs to be answered.
Well, and they're playing kind of catch up right now. I mean, they're trying to stay in front of it. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to stay in front of it, but I don't know how much they can do that because AI is growing so quickly.
I think the way you stay in front of it is you become comfortable using it. That's how you stay in front of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you use it
to your advantage.
If you use it as a tool.
Yes, as a tool.
That's how you stay ahead of it. That's how you become fluent in it. Right? You understand what it can do, how it can assist you, how it can be your helper, as opposed to doom and gloom all the time that the sky is falling and all of a sudden I'm not going to have a job.
No, and you AI is going to be here, and you got to learn how to work with it. But from Sean Fain's standpoint, it's like I don't want this to just end up taking my members' jobs. And I want
let's put all the cards on the table.
I'm not going to get any dues either.
That's exactly it. You're exactly right.
I'm not going to get any dues if
because
they take over my
what's going to happen if all these UAW members get laid off because of artificial intelligence being adopted by these communities, and all of a sudden they're going to be out of jobs, and all those dues go away, and all of a sudden your influence shrinks substantially.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that's the only thing here. I think Sean Fain does, or at least outward facing, is trying to stick up for workers.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But there is that as well.
But
that's
you gotta
also
have that in the back of your mind.
That's the yin to the yang. There is that piece of the pie.
Yes.
So I think that's fair too. I was having a conversation about artificial intelligence with my dad the other day. And he said, it's interesting because my position has always been, okay, well, what happens when all of these companies just to say, go, you know what, screw it, we're going to place half of our workforce with AI technology. Well, how are they going to get that technology? Somebody's going to have to pay for it. People aren't just developing these platforms out of the goodness of their hearts.
No.
There's money involved here. And what's basically propping up artificial intelligence at this point are investors.
Yes.
So what happens when those investors want their money back? What happens when the ROI is due? Well, okay, who's paying for that? And how much is that going to cost? And then if you pay somebody $100,000 a year, but all of a sudden you have to pay, 20, I don't know, I'm just throwing out numbers, $10 million for the rights for artificial intelligence. Well, it's going to take a long time for you to recoup that money from a business perspective, right? So there is kind of an interesting dichotomy there on when it becomes mass adopted as opposed to when do investors or these companies start wanting to see money back? Because right now, a lot of it's either free or cheap.
Yes.
You can get it. And what you're doing now is you're becoming used to it, right? It's now involved in your life. I very rarely do I even go on Google anymore. I open my ChatGPT app, right? Because it gives me a much more nuanced answer to the question that I'm looking for.
Exactly, it does.
And so I think that it's an interesting kind of dance that we're seeing now. But one of the things that we're seeing in the stock market too is AI is propping a lot of things up, and a lot of that is due to the investors that we're seeing. Meanwhile, gas prices are falling here in Michigan. Can we expect them to keep falling?
I hope so.
It would be nice.
Yes.
We'll talk about it coming up next on WJR.
While no one knows what tomorrow may bring, Bridgestone is working toward a more positive outlook with innovations like developing a tire using 75% recycled and renewable materials. It's just one of the many ways Bridgestone is making a difference today for generations to come, because that's what really matters. Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Visit whatreallymatters.com to learn more.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Take the first step. Visit CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Maybe you haven't heard about us. We're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless has you paying for more data than you might need. Why? They might want you to cover the costs of younger people who do use all that data. If you're not using the data, you're probably being used. We've heard time and time again that some Big Wireless customers get stuck paying hundreds and even thousands more for years and years because they think it's hard to switch. Not with us. It takes just about 20 minutes and you can change your plan anytime without extra charges. We use the same towers as the big guys, so you'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Our plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
The Novi Home and Garden Show returns April 24th through 26th to the Vibe Credit Union Showplace.
Meet hundreds of experts, get thousands of ideas, and save big with special show-only pricing.
Step inside a spring oasis of beautiful landscapes, plant life, and water features.
Tour 8 homes in the Manufactured Home Showcase.
Shop local artisans and crafters in the Michigan Marketplace.
And learn from gardening experts on our tips and trend stage.
Join us April 24th through 26th.
Get discount tickets at novihomeshow.com.
Tigers fans 21 plus, head to Comerica Park on May 1st for $5 Friday.
Way back and gone!
When the time gates open at 5 p.m. through the third inning, select 12 to 16-ounce beers will be just $5, including craft options. This will be offered at various locations around the ballpark. The Tigers host an exciting matchup with the Texas Rangers and get our most discounted beer offering of the season. There's no better way to start your weekend. Learn more or get your tickets now at tigers.com/Friday.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at TrueGreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Eastbound 96 after Latson, we still have an accident in Howell. Square Lake westbound between Lasser and Telegraph. Right lane closed for construction till tomorrow. The eastbound 94 off-ramp to 21 Mile. Right lane is closed there till 3 p.m. on Saturday. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Start to see the numbers now come back a bit as we're looking at about 70 degrees as we get on into the afternoon. Now, this morning, still some clouds around. There might be a sprinkle of rain, but most of us will lose that and get that sun back. Tonight, some clouds, about 47. Suburbs will get a little cooler. Wednesday, sunny, 70. Thursday, sunny, 75. Chance of showers Friday afternoon, 75. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Well, we've seen a little bit of relief over the last week.
I'll take a little.
Just a little.
I'll
Gas
take it.
prices here in the state of Michigan have seen their first double-digit drop in weeks. Let's talk about it. Adrian Woodland, the spokesperson with AAA Michigan Auto Club, joins us to talk about it. Adrian, good morning. It's good to have you back.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on the show.
You got it. Gas prices here in Michigan down 15 cents from a week ago. That's good news. What's driving that?
So we saw a decrease in crude oil prices, particularly last week. So crude oil prices were down to end the week, and so that's helping to push pump prices downward.
And for example, filling up this week, should they feel good about where prices are or cautious about what's coming next?
Prices are still elevated, especially compared to this time last year. So today the average in Michigan is about $3.80. That's still 66 cents higher than what we saw this time last year. And while we saw a decrease in crude oil prices, crude is still trading in the 80s, actually like high 80s a barrel, which is still above where crude oil was in February, which was down into about the high 60s, low 70s.
So can we expect this downward trend to continue, or are we still on the roller coaster?
You know, swings at the pump may not be over. Volatility remains, and prices could certainly change quickly.
And, you know, Adrian, there's this, I'm trying to understand this spread across the state, because you got places like Benton Harbor and Ann Arbor a little higher, Flint, Saginaw lower. What causes those regional differences?
There's a lot of different factors in terms of the regional differences, including as simple as how easy it is to get the gasoline to that particular place, as well as demand, particularly since a lot of prices have gone up. We haven't always seen the higher places be higher. Like typically places like Metro Detroit and Ann Arbor tend to be some of your more expensive metro areas in the state. That has kind of flipped again with the volatility, with the prices going up and down. So that has changed. Metro Detroit right now is actually right along with the state average at about $3.81 a gallon.
Adrian Woodland, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. It's a good thing to see these numbers come down. Certainly. We'll see how long it lasts.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're heading into the summer travel season as well. And, you know, I'm hoping that these prices continue to come down because, it affects our tourism here.
Absolutely.
Especially up north.
Absolutely. And interesting. Energy Secretary Chris Wright said Sunday that gas prices may not drop below $3 a gallon until next year.
People don't want to hear that. They're like, what?
Well, we'll see you later. On that note, have a great day. No,
people don't want to hear that.
No, but what's interesting is the difference of opinion between Chris Wright and Donald Trump, because Chris Wright says, all right, well, gas probably isn't going to be below $3 a gallon until next year because of this war with Iran and all of the ripple effects that has had on the energy markets. And Donald Trump, his response, no, I think he's wrong on that. Totally wrong. When he was asked by The Hill in a phone conversation, he said that as soon as this ends, referring to the war in Iran, gas prices will start to drop. Now, I do believe gas prices are going to drop.
Oh, yeah.
When this thing does come to an end.
But, it doesn't get to it. It doesn't get to the pump when it's falling.
No,
as
no,
quick
no,
as it
no,
does
no,
when
no.
it's rising.
It's not like, boy, it's dark in this room. I better turn the lights on.
Right.
It ain't like
It
that.
ain't like that.
No. But at the same time, what Scott Bessent, for example, has said is, well, boy, when this thing first started and before you even had to pay more for that oil, your prices were way up.
Mm-hmm.
That was more like flipping a switch than
yeah.
anything. Now it was
Yeah.
it did gradually go up, but it was in chunks. So his point was, well, then I hope you start to lower your prices, gas stations, as quickly as you rose them. And that's probably not realistic either. He says we're keeping an eye on it and whatever ominous words those mean. But the president is in direct contrast with Chris Wright's assessment, the energy secretary, and of course he's going to be. I've seen people, it's funny. I was watching CNN yesterday and they were talking about this. And Brianna Noble on CNN?
Uh-huh.
And she was like, oh, I can't. So the president and Chris Wright I'm more inclined to believe one of his secretaries. And I'm like, well, okay, let's pump the brakes here a little bit. Yeah. All you do is rag on the secretaries.
Right.
But now you want to believe him?
Because you like what he's saying?
It's crazy. Regardless, there is a point, which is I think Chris Wright is probably more right than Donald Trump is because of it is going to be gradual. And so we're already in April, end of April here.
Right.
Now, whether or not they get lower than $3 a gallon, I don't know. If you can get it down to $3.10, $3.15, I'll be happy. I don't need gas to be 95 cents a gallon anymore. Well, that's not realistic.
It's not.
Right? We all know that.
Exactly.
It would be nice, but we're not expecting that.
No.
So get it down to a place where people can afford. Get it down to those low threes.
And I think the $3 per gallon, Chris, has kind of become that psychological benchmark, for affordability. I think because I hear more people saying 3 or below 3. That's 3 or below 3. That's what they say.
It's funny because I think it depends. Like it depends. Yes, you're probably right. You're probably right. It's probably the Rorschach test on where you want to be, where you feel comfortable. I can see that being true.
Yeah.
But that's still pretty expensive.
It is. Compared to, when oil was $62 a barrel and I was paying $2.42.
Right. Again, that's great. I would love that. Absolutely would love it. It would save me a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we let the gas price thing get out of control until it reaches $4 a gallon.
$4,
right? You're out west.
Yeah.
You're paying $4, $5, $6 a gallon.
Yes.
It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, you might be right. $3 might be that line. And we'd like it to see it right around there as much as possible.
Yeah.
7:00 hour coming up. Donald Trump also loosening restrictions on psychedelics. We'll tell you about it.
Did you know Weingarts offers at-home maintenance on tractors, zero-turn riders, and lawnmowers? No need to load up your machine or wait in line. They come to you and perform annual maintenance that your machine needs to keep it running like new. Visit Weingarts.com and schedule your at-home maintenance today. Join Ann Thomas as she talks to the movers and shakers making the biggest difference in the deed. It's Opportunity Detroit, presented by Rocket Mortgage. Own the dream. Every Sunday at 1 p.m. on 760 WJR.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Progressive presents Heroes That Keep Truckers Going. Today's hero, the Rest Up Bathroom Custodian. Is there toilet paper? No. Paper towels? No. Clean stalls? Also no. But the soap dispenser is full, and that counts for something. Thanks, hero. Know what else keeps truckers going? Progressive's expanded cargo protection through their enhanced Cargo Plus coverage. Get a quote at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. Not available in California.
Clark Construction Company is one of the premier construction managers in Michigan for K-12 education. They assist districts with bond planning, facility assessments, and bond campaigns. They manage the construction to help districts fulfill their promise to their community till the school doors open on time for fall, all while keeping students and staff's safety top of mind. Clark's breadth of capabilities ensures that they can meet their clients' needs every time on every front. Details at clarkcc.com.
Spring storms. 760 WJR will have you covered. WJR, Detroit.
Vice President Vance will go, but will Iran? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is the big question ahead of a potentially second round of talks in Pakistan before a 2-week ceasefire ends tomorrow night.
State media has indicated the Iranian delegation has not yet departed for the conversation. Iran's parliament speaker posted to X overnight saying Trump, by imposing a siege and violating the ceasefire, seeks to turn this negotiating table in his own imagination into a table of surrender or to justify renewed warmongering.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv.
The reality is that Iran has violated the ceasefire multiple times, specifically in the Strait of Hormuz, where only 16 vessels passed through on Monday. President Trump has indicated he's unlikely to extend this ceasefire.
The U.S. military still has a blockade on Iran's ports, turning away 27 ships, intercepting and taking custody of one that would not stop. They're going to the polls now in Virginia with redistricting on the ballot ahead of the November elections that could flip some House seats from Republican to Democrat. President Trump just posted on Truth Social, vote no to save your country.
Voting for the constitutional amendment allowing for a one-time change to the congressional map began March 6th. Democrats said it was needed to counter what Republicans are doing in other states, namely Texas. The current map has 6 seats favoring Democrats. The new map would add 4 more, leaving Republicans with just 1 seat.
That's Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. There is a new vacancy in President Trump's cabinet with a third departure this year.
Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer is leaving the administration to take a position in the private sector, a White House spokesman says, adding she has done a phenomenal job in her role. But Chavez DeRemer's term has been overshadowed at times by a series of misconduct investigations.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Later this morning, the president's nominee to lead the Federal Reserve, Kevin Warsh, will be questioned at a Senate confirmation hearing. He's in line to replace Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, whose term ends next month after a lot of Trump criticism for not cutting interest rates enough. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Eastbound 96 after Latson Road, we still have that accident in Howell. Westbound Square Lake between Lasser and Telegraph, right lane closed there until tomorrow. The right lane is closed on the eastbound 94 off-ramp to 21 Mile. That project's in place until 3 p.m. on Saturday. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by University of Michigan's Michigan Creative. Support for Michigan Public comes from the University of Michigan's Look to Michigan campaign, working to solve global challenges through developing new technologies to charge EVs 5 times faster and design buildings with 72% less concrete. Learn more at umich.edu/look. A mix of clouds and sunshine today, much warmer, high of 73. Right now, it's 43. Partly cloudy tonight with a low of 51, then sunshine tomorrow, high of 74. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
For more than 35 years, MetroCars has set the standard for professional transportation across Michigan and beyond. MetroCars is proud to serve as the official transportation provider of 760 WJR. Executives and business travelers trust MetroCars for dependable airport transportation and seamless corporate travel. From early morning departures to late night arrivals, their professional chauffeurs ensure every ride is punctual, comfortable, and stress-free. Choose MetroCars. MetroCars.com.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avastin-capted pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
For the latest on news, sports, and entertainment, take Mitch Albom on your drive home, 4 to 6 p.m. Stream 760 WJR live on the WJR app or at WJR.com. It's not just morning, it's a JR morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and on the WJR app, where Michigan comes to talk.
All right, 7 o'clock hour. Good to have you following what's happening in Iran. JD Vance and the crew is over in Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
And these talks are supposed to happen at some point today. Some point.
Well,
and we've got, the end of this ceasefire tomorrow. What it means, what would it mean? And we talked to Jason Rowe last hour. And if you missed it, go to WJR.com. You can check it out. But one of the things that he said is, it's going to be really embarrassing for the United States if J.D. Vance and Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner all show up to talk.
Yeah. And
they
nobody's
get stood
to talk
up.
to.
They get stood up. They get stood up like a rom-com, and you're waiting at a restaurant for your date. You can't
Left
have
at the
it.
altar.
Yeah, you can't have it.
No.
And so it does show. I don't know. Here's the thing: I don't know if it actually shows weakness. Maybe on the world stage it does.
Yeah.
But it shows that we are serious about these conversations, that we are serious about achieving a deal, that we really don't want to target your bridges and energy infrastructure. We'd actually like to just talk and be done with this.
Yeah. Get it over with. But there, as you can see, we just looking up at the Chiron on Fox News that Iran is split. They're split over
The
whether
leadership.
Yeah, the leadership is split over whether they want a deal, and some want it, some don't. I mean, that's an issue.
It is an issue. And then you've got this saber rattling by the Iranian parliamentary speaker saying by imposing this blockade and violating the ceasefire, Trump, in his view, is trying to turn the negotiating table into a surrender or to justify renewing warmongering. We do not accept negotiations under a shadow threat. And over the past 2 weeks, we've prepared to reveal new cards on the battlefield. And again, it goes to some who believe that the United States never should have settled for a ceasefire 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
they should have just continued on their operations, put the blockade in place, and go, now what?
Yeah.
Because what you've allowed, it's like calling a timeout in a sport. What you've allowed Iran to do is
Get a
regroup.
second win.
Right? And whatever that means.
Right. I don't know how much.
We don't know exactly
Right,
what
exactly.
that means.
Yeah.
But you've got Tehran saying, well, we're prepared. We've got we're going to roll out new operations.
Just like they were, with the Straits, right? They had that all taken care of, and they really didn't.
I just don't buy that.
No.
I don't buy it. I mean, personally, maybe I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, but I just don't. I don't buy.
It's
that.
hard to believe. It's just hard to believe that they have anything else.
I think at this point, I think Iran doesn't have a lot of options. That's what I think.
No, I agree.
I think that they are running out of options really quickly when you're losing $500 million a day.
Yes.
I mean, the government has not been able to function properly.
No,
really,
pay their troops. They can't do anything.
Really, ever since the military action started. But you're not able to pay your soldiers.
No.
And that's when things start to really turn.
Because people start turning on you.
Right. If you're not providing me what I need, well, then what?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you've got the RGC and that, wing that it seems to be they're the ones that are saying, don't negotiate. We don't need to negotiate. We need to stay strong. But again, I think that there are leaders in Iran that are serious about this. We'll see what that means coming up. Also, water levels in Sheboygan are down a little bit overnight, which is good news.
Yeah, water levels at the Sheboygan Lock and Dam complex dipped slightly yesterday, dropping nearly 3/8 of an inch as state officials say conditions are slowly improving and the Sheboygan River remains high, but officials report no rain in the forecast and say, current safeguards appear to be holding.
3/8 of an inch, yay!
Hey, man, that's a big deal.
It's like,
yes,
just
I mean, when you think about it,
thin layer,
what and what they're dealing with,
but it's huge.
it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. Also, the labor secretary, we had her on last week.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Lori Chavez de Reamer. Well, she's out of the president's cabinet now. The White House confirming this yesterday. Officials say she will leave her role and transition into the private sector, with Deputy Labor Secretary Keith Sonderling stepping in as acting secretary. The administration praised Chavez de Reamer's tenure, saying she worked to support American workers and strengthen job training programs, while Chavez de Reamer called it an honor to serve. And she said she will continue advocating for workers outside of the government. Her departure comes after reports of internal investigations and alleged misconduct, including claims that had circulated earlier this year. White House didn't address those allegations.
I don't know.
Let me tell you, it seems like a lot of people are transitioning into the private sector out of the White House, like Bondi. She's kind of going into the private sector, and Kristi Noem, I mean, she went to another area. So
yeah, so she's still in the game.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, whatever. This stuff happened. I don't know what's going on in DC though lately. With I mean,
yeah.
Just can anybody just be? I don't know, faithful to their spouses. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Stop being creepy. Can you stop doing creepy text messages and stuff?
It's weird. Could we just work? Could you just do the jobs
that
you're
you
there
were hired for? Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. It's so bizarre to me.
It's really
It's so bizarre to me. Tigers, meanwhile, they drop their final game in Boston against the Red Sox 8-6.
Yeah.
Boston scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th, and that put them over the top. And it was an early game yesterday because of the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
Yes. It was Patriots Day at Fenway Park, which is cool. But Tigers lose, and they are now, I think, 12-11 on the year. And they went on a little streak after they got swept by the Twins in that 4-game set. They went on a run. They've only lost 2 of their last 10. So it's nice to see that the Tigers are picking things up a little bit. Next on tap, the Brewers
We're here
tonight at home,
Yeah.
6:40 first pitch here at Comerica Park. Coming up on the other side, we're going to talk a little bit about this decision by the president to sign an executive order on loosening restrictions on psychedelics. Joe Rogan was in the White House for this.
Yeah.
And part of the reason is there have been studies that show that the psychedelic drugs have a huge impact and a real helpful effect for those that are dealing with depression or PTSD, that you're getting them off of some other prescription drugs, and then they're not reliant on any sort of medication. So that was the impetus of it. What's the long-term ramifications of that? We'll talk about that coming up on the other side. But first at 7:12, time for WJR's Business Beat, brought to you by Shelving.com. We rack your world. Here's Jeff Sloan, the founder and CEO of Startup Nation, to spotlight the entrepreneurial tech and startup community on WJR.
Good morning. Trying to find an angle in your marketing strategy, one that reaches your audience at an attractive cost per acquisition, one that will help you break out from the noise and get noticed, one that will stand out from the same old approach to creating awareness and driving sales. Well, a creator marketing campaign is designed to do just that. eMarketer newsletter just featured a great story on how creator marketing is helping a brand break into public awareness by using creators to make it happen. Last month, Formula E, the motorsports championship for electric vehicles, invited creators to test its cars and compete in a live knockout-style race streamed on its YouTube channel. And the event drew 5.8 million viewers, the league reports. Now, eMarketer goes on to report, as a challenger sport, Formula E has recognized the power of creators in building brand awareness and connecting with new consumers. Instead of strictly promoting clips from the actual races on social and hoping viewers tune in, the brand is leaning into original digital content that drives broader interest. Ellie Norman, Chief Marketing Officer of Formula E, had this to say: "It's our job to take the sport to where the target audience is. And often the best way to do that is not to think about ourselves as broadcasting to an audience, but really identify and work with those trusted voices in really established communities. By doing it this way, we don't have the constraint of legacy that many other sports do," said Norman. "What's always key is maintaining that sporting integrity, but there's so much flexibility and agility to move quickly and test things with creator marketing. If race scheduling acts as the TV advertising and brings the reach, creator content provides those moments of excitement and momentum," she said, "and that gets audience attention and ultimately drives business. Now, in this particular program, Formula E trained 10 creators and put them in championship cars. Their experiences made the professional drivers more relatable while building respect for the sport, said Norman. The reactions getting out of the car kind of went like this. That was the best 10 seconds of my life. Quickly followed by, how do you do this? She said. And that raw, authentic reaction, not scripted, not prepackaged, but rather a from the heart, tell it like it is reaction is what gets people's attention these days and ultimately makes the sale. I'm Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of StartupNation.com, and that's today's Business Beat on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
Looking to get organized? Turn to shelving.com for storage solutions built around you, from wire shelving to full Unirack pallet racking systems. Their team designed turnkey facilities to meet your needs. Explore their products online today.
Shelving.com, we rack your world.
You know, no matter where you look, rising costs are hitting everybody hard. They're hitting you hard. And when you're forced to make tough decisions like keeping the lights on, it should never be one of them. Consumers Energy is stepping up, giving back $5 million to assistance agencies and supporting efforts to actually increase energy assistance dollars for families in need by 50%. And with personalized energy savings programs, you can actually take the steps to start reducing your energy bills right now. So count on Consumers Energy for support. Learn more at consumersenergy.com/help.
After years of diving into the ups and downs of retirement planning, we've decided to change the name of our show, Expedition Retirement. Join us for Fire Your Financial Advisor, Saturdays at 3 and Sundays at 5 on News Talk 760 WJR.
I didn't switch to Pure Talk just because I wanted to save 50% off the same 5G service I've been paying twice as much for. I switched because I like the idea of being in business with a wireless company that supports our veterans in a meaningful way. Pure Talk also creates American jobs every day by keeping their entire operation in this country. I appreciate that. If you feel the same, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Spring into a pain-free life at the Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and Bad Axe. Hi, it's Paul W. Smith. Thousands of people, like, well, Kim and me, are happier and healthier since our chronic back, neck, and knee pain are gone, thanks to Dr. Saul Kogan. His gentle, relaxing, non-surgical, non-invasive intra-disc neutrosis and knee restore RX treatments stimulate the body's self-repair healing process. If you have spinal stenosis, herniated, bulging, or degenerative discs, sciatica pain, or numbness, tingling, or burning in your hands, arms, or legs, there is help. When you mention WJR in April, you'll get a consultation, examination, X-ray or MRI review, and a laser treatment for just $49 for your first visit at the Nerve and Disc Institute. Want to avoid surgery? Call 586-416-DISC, 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472, 586-416-3472. Mention WJR. Call now.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then you find a deal that actually feels like a win. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises, all on Verizon's 5G network. Find it in the same place you've always found straightforward prices, exclusively at Walmart and straighttalk.com.
We're seeing slow traffic on southbound 275 between 6 Mile and M14. Same with southbound 75 between Dixie Highway and Ortonville Road. Also delays on eastbound 94 between Lanyo and 14th Street. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Weather Seal Home Improvements. Wonder what your roof should cost? Visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com to get a free instant quote. Sign up today for your roof replacement and get entered to win a free roof. Now, that's a great deal. To qualify for this exclusive offer, visit WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. That's WeatherSealHomeImprovements.com. Here's your forecast.
After our bit of an April cool down, temperatures will start rebounding as we go through the next few days. Might just be a sprinkle of rain this morning, but the clouds go away to sunshine by lunchtime, around there, let's say. And then sunshine 70 this afternoon. Tonight, 47, some clouds, suburbs a bit cooler. Wednesday, sunny 70. Mostly sunny Thursday, 75. Friday, near 75, maybe a few showers in the afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajik on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
It's Anthony Bellino. Join me and Lomas Brown Tuesday night on Sports Wrap as we get ready for Game 2 of the NBA playoffs with the Magic play-by-play broadcaster Jake Chapman. That's Tuesday night at 6 p.m. right here on the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR.
So you go back to the 1970s when Richard Nixon launched a war on drugs.
Okay.
One of the categories that was outlawed, obviously, was psychedelics, and that includes everything from LSD to ecstasy to psilocybin and now ibogaine was included in that. And now Donald Trump has signed an executive order to fast track research into the psychedelic drugs and what effect they have on treating mental health disorders like depression or PTSD. It was interesting to see Joe Rogan in the Oval Office when he made that signing the other day. And Joe Rogan basically just said, look, I texted the president and I said, this is something that we need to look at or you should look at. And he goes, great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do this. And it was basically done. And I think there are a lot of people that say this is going to be a really good thing because particularly with ibogaine, for example, there's been studies that, again, not sanctioned by the FDA or federal avenues, but studies that show that ibogaine actually cuts down the addiction to opioids pretty drastically.
Wow.
Like really, really quick. And that's saving a lot of lives. But what are the ramifications of this? And what does it mean to fast track this research? Melissa Lavasani is the founder and CEO of Psychedelic Medicine Coalition and joins us this morning to talk about it. Melissa, good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
I'm curious to get your perspective on what your feelings were when the president signed that executive order and kind of what is next, what we're going to see next now that we're going to be able to see actual research done into these avenues.
Yeah, I mean, I'm CEO of Psychedelic Medicine Coalition. We're an advocacy organization in Washington, D.C. To see this executive order signed on Saturday is like the signal that we've all been waiting for with this administration to greenlight what has already been happening for the last 10 years in the space. You know, the president signed this order just to kind of, you know, say, hey, I give you my blessing to move forward, to use these acceleration pathways. You know, nothing really new was created aside from, you know, a $50 million reallocation of federal research funds that was already appropriated for that. It's just the president saying there are these accelerated pathways like breakthrough therapy status and priority review vouchers. Let's allow psychedelic compounds that are already in trial with the FDA to utilize some of these programs.
Melissa, is there a risk, people hear this news and assume that access is like right around the corner when it's still, a little bit away?
Yeah, no, this really didn't, other than accelerating approval timelines, this didn't open up any access, doesn't legalize psychedelics, it doesn't change any FDA approvals. I know the president made a comment like, do you want an FDA approval? Very flippantly.
Right. Yeah.
But like, there's been so many psychedelic compounds already going through the FDA process that, it's kind of queuing up what's already already slated to happen. So it's more of a signal than anything.
What is it about psychedelics in particular that is that could be where we've seen maybe some gains and some positive outcomes for people that are dealing with different mental health disorders, depression, PTSD, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, the veteran community has been very loud about this issue. It's been wonderful collaborating with them, and they're seeing all kinds of complex issues that the VA has really struggled to get treated by psychedelics. They just had to do it outside of the medical system, unfortunately. So things like PTSD, mild traumatic brain injury, depression, addiction, these are things that the healthcare system has really struggled to treat with Americans. And now what some of these trials are showing is that, instead of being on a daily maintenance medication that is alleviating some symptoms of some of these issues, you have people that are doing 1, 2, 3 doses of psychedelic sessions, and they're getting cured from their depression. But it's really important for the listeners to understand that it's not just the molecule that is causing this, it is the preparation for the experience. Obviously, the experience itself is very notable and a reset for your brain, but like the kind of integration that you engage with after your psychedelic experience is where a lot of the changes happen. So it's really a change in the paradigm of how we view healthcare, and it's going to require people to be actively involved in their own healing instead of just popping a pill and expecting to get better.
Do we have the infrastructure to safely integrate psychedelic therapies into mainstream healthcare if they get approved?
That's a great question. At this moment in time, not really. We have a lot of interest, though, in this, and there's a lot of advocates and clinicians that are working in this field to build the infrastructure that is needed. Congress has a bill that is just introduced. Senator Sheehy from Montana, Republican senator, has introduced this bill. It's called the VA Novel Therapeutics Act, and it is to create the infrastructure at the VA so that psychedelic-assisted therapies are supported and veterans can access it within the healthcare system. It also mandates cross-agency communication and coordination, similar to what President Trump put in his executive order. This bill mandates it. So my organization has been supporting this bill. We now see that this executive order really aligns with what's already been in this bill. This bill was introduced last month, and we expect this to move pretty quickly through Congress. And that is a great first step in establishing what this infrastructure needs to look like within the VA healthcare system. And so we know how we can scale up into other healthcare systems.
Melissa, keep us up to date on this, something that's really interesting, and keep us up to date on how things are going, and then we'll check back in with you very soon.
I'm happy to. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks for your time this morning. That's Melissa Lavasani with the Psychedelic Medicine Coalition. And it's not just people that are trying to peer into the fourth dimension, right? No, right. Seriously, because people think, oh, well, these are psychedelics. You're just trying to go into deep space.
You're trying to trip.
Right. No, it's not like that. There's an actual medical avenue that people want to go down, whether you're dealing with depression or traumatic brain injuries, PTSD, things like that. Again, how effective it is, we don't really know because it hasn't been studied.
No, but this is a dramatic departure from the war on drugs era.
Certainly. Reclassifying marijuana. Yeah, certainly. Coming up on the other side, new technology being added to the McNamara parking garage at DTW might even make finding a place to park a little easier when you're heading off onto your next vacation. It's next on JR Morning.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement savings to stock market risk? There are strategies you can use to keep your money safe no matter what happens in the stock market. Join us for Money Talks with Joseph Uplager, Saturdays at 5 p.m. right here on WJR 760.
Spin on Golf with PGA professionals Brian Cairns, Jordan Young, and WJR Steve Courtney, 6 p.m. Sundays live from St. John's Resort. Escape to the greens with a Cardinals Stay and Play golf package. The show is sponsored by Rocket and the Rocket Classic, coming July 30th through August 2nd. WJR and the Detroit Economic Club present our 6th annual Rising Stars campaign, sponsored by Awcom and DFCU Financial. We're on a mission to spotlight some incredible young leaders under 40 who are driving innovation and making a real difference in their respective industries and within our vibrant communities. Do you know an inspiring individual, a game changer who deserves recognition for their outstanding achievements? Tell us their story, highlight their impact, and help us honor Detroit's next generation of leaders. The deadline for nominations is May 22nd. Details at WJR.com/Rising Stars. Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen Sundays at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. Sponsored by Must Construction Careers. Learn more at mustcareers.org. For more than 35 years, MetroCars has set the standard for professional transportation across Michigan and beyond. MetroCars is proud to serve as the official transportation provider of 760 WJR. Executives and business travelers trust MetroCars for dependable airport transportation and seamless corporate travel. From early morning departures to late night arrivals, their professional chauffeurs ensure every ride is punctual, comfortable, and stress-free. Choose MetroCars. MetroCars.com.
JR Afternoon. Weekdays at 2 with Ryan Ermani on 760 WJR. You're hearing the great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. Vice President J.D. Vance reportedly set to head to Pakistan today for a new round of peace talks with Iran. But will the Iranian delegation show up?
Iran's parliament speaker posted to X overnight saying Trump, by imposing a siege and violating the ceasefire, seeks to turn this negotiating table in his own imagination into a table of surrender or to justify renewed warmongering.
It's Fox's Trey Yingst. President Trump says if there's no deal, he's unlikely to extend the ceasefire, which expires tomorrow. Voters in Virginia are deciding whether the state should redraw its congressional districts ahead of the midterms.
Democrats currently hold a 6-5 edge in the state's congressional delegation. So with these redrawn districts, Democrats could turn that into a 10-1 advantage. Much of the focus of this vote, of course, today will be how is this going to shift the balance of power?
Fox's Alex Hogan. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment.
It's Car Care Month, and Summit Racing has what you need for bumper-to-bumper care. Revive the interior, exterior, underhood, and more. Shop SummitRacing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 3rd, 2026.
Well, the good news is we're accident-free on the roads right now. Just a few slow spots. Southbound 275 between 6 Mile and M14. Also seeing delays on southbound 75 between Dixie Highway and Ortonville Road. Same with eastbound 94 between Lanyo and 14th Street. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Mix of clouds and sunshine today. A high of 73. Right now, it's 43. Partly cloudy tonight, low of 51. Then sunshine again tomorrow, high of 74. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
The risk of stroke goes up for all of us as we age. But for women, the risk really amplifies after menopause. In fact, 1 in 5 women in the United States between the ages of 55 and 75 will have a stroke. But according to a new study carried out by researchers in California, adhering to the Mediterranean diet can significantly lower that risk. One expert said, "We continue to see study after study showing that a predominantly plant-based diet improves all sorts of different outcomes." Now, with this diet in particular, you've seen it lower the risk of certain types of cancer, diabetes, depression, dementia, even gum disease. Now, as a reminder, the Mediterranean diet prioritizes eating vegetables, fruits, beans, olive oil, nuts, and fish, and limiting meat and dairy. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Maybe you haven't heard about us. We're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless has you paying for more data than you might need. Why? They might want you to cover the costs of younger people who do use all that data. If you're not using the data, you're probably being used. We've heard time and time again that some Big Wireless customers get stuck paying hundreds and even thousands more for years and years because they think it's hard to switch. Not with us. It takes just about 20 minutes, and you can change your plan anytime without extra charges. We use the same towers as the big guys, so you'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Our plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Like many of you, I got LASIK surgery back in the 80s, and recently I started having trouble seeing, and it turns out they never told us LASIK doesn't last forever. So now what? Glasses? I haven't worn glasses in years, and I'm as vain as the next person. But then I remembered Mariana and the staff at Direct Optical Optique and how great they were at finding cool frames that look good on me, because they are frame stylists. You can't get that on the web or a big box store, and nobody has a bigger selection of designer frames than Direct Optical Optique. And Mariana still knows everybody by name. She's still selling cool glasses, one pair at a time, with a very personal touch. So if you wear glasses now or are wearing them again, you got to go to Direct Optical Optique and let them treat you like a star. They're the only ones who can do that. 2 great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple and West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to IKEA. OptiqueDetroit.com on the web.
Hey there, JR listeners. Chris Alberta from Principium. Look, I have an urgent message for you today about your retirement. I don't care if you already retired, you're a few months away, or you're a few years away. You're going to be unemployed soon. And you probably don't have a pension because you are your pension. Recent all-time highs in the market. Look, you're at the top of the mountain. And now we're in an Iranian conflict. AI might replace your job. And like it or not, you could be retired as long as you were working. But despite all that, it's the best time I have ever seen in my career to build you a retirement plan. The fixed rates are unbelievably good. Income models are killing it. You combine that with top-notch market management, and you're going to win. If you wait, you will lose. These rates will go down. You remember the 4% rule? My clients are using the 7% rule. They'll always have a paycheck, and that's freedom. Don't wait. Call me now, 888-800-8949. Call me, Chris Alberta, 888-800-8949.
On your ride home, check out the Mitch Albom Show at 4 p.m. Now to get your day started, here's JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
So, interesting story. Elon Musk is calling for government money to counter AI job losses. He argues that AI will eliminate large numbers of jobs and that the federal government should respond by guaranteeing Americans a, quote, universal high income rather than welfare or basic income.
Okay.
And he says that what we could see is government issued checks large enough to maintain a comfortable living standard of living, even as artificial intelligence replaces human labor.
So he's saying, what if AI takes your gig, then the Fed should?
Well, this was in the grand scheme of AI, right? If you think about what it means long-term for jobs, and we've talked a little bit about this today already, but what does it mean if, all of a sudden, just say 100,000 people are out of work?
Okay.
Well, it's harder for them to find a job, hypothetically, because they've been replaced. So if you're, I don't know, if you're a data analyst, for example, well, you don't need them anymore. So if you've been a data analyst for 30 years,
and that's all you know,
and all of a sudden you're like, well, but I'm just going to go get another job. And they're like, well, you're not no, there are no data analysts anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So all of a sudden you have to pivot to do something completely different, something that you may not be equipped to do. And you might not be, it might not be as easy to get a job anymore. So my thought was always, well, what happens then next? If you can't get a job, how are you going to pay for your house? How are you going to pay for your car? How are you going to pay for your food? How are you going to pay for your bills? All of those things. And so what Elon Musk is saying here is that there needs to be some, emergency shoot here where if that happens, people are going to be able to live.
Yeah.
And
federal welfare?
I guess kind of in a certain way. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. If the government is giving you money, then yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's no doubt that artificial intelligence is going to be a massive game changer, and for a lot of good.
Oh,
in the economic marketplace.
Yeah.
There is going to be a lot of benefit of having a tool that can do what AI can do. It's going to be incredibly helpful, but there could be job losses that result in that.
And because companies will use it to be more efficient and to save money, but in the meantime, people are losing jobs, and that's the bad part.
Yeah, and again, it's not today, it's not anywhere,
Right.
In the next few years, but in 10 years, I think it would behoove the government to think about things like that.
Sure.
And or you're putting guardrails on this technology and what it can do. For example, you could be as a federal regulation, you could say, well, you can only eliminate, 3% of your workforce and replace it with artificial intelligence. Otherwise, you can use artificial intelligence throughout everything that you do as a company.
Right.
But you can't just keep laying people off.
Yeah.
Right. And then that has ripple effects on how much money these companies can make. It has a ripple effect on how much money that the AI companies can make too.
Yeah.
And so it's going to skew things. It's going to change things. But that's part of what the regulation that I think is needed as well.
And when people lose jobs, they're not getting a paycheck, which means they're not paying into the Social Security. They're not paying into that. So
Yes.
that's, but then Elon says, direct government cash payments, they're paying out money, but you're not getting any in. What happens to Social Security when you start letting all these people go and they're not paying into it? I mean, Social Security already is a little suspect, in the next few years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, to me, that just kind of makes it even more, an issue down the line.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. That's there for you. Also, if you're headed down to DTW and you need a place to park, you should have a better, at least a more easy time finding a spot.
Yeah, it's a high-tech upgrade designed to take the guesswork out of finding that spot. It's a new parking guidance system that's now being tested inside the McNamara terminal. The system uses overhead colored lights, green to show an open space, red to indicate the spot is taken, helping drivers quickly see where to park as they move through the structure. And, Chris, when you're behind, you're running behind, you're trying to get to that plane.
Been there.
Need to get a parking space. This will kind of help you maybe get to it a little quicker so you can get to the plane, get through TSA and make it.
Have you ever been in that position?
Yeah. Yeah.
Running way behind?
Running behind, and you're like, I got to find a space, man. And, you really should be parking in long term, but just parking short term because that's the quick. It's just crazy. And you just deal with the consequences. You end up paying a whole lot more than you should. And it's just like, okay, but I got to get to the plane,
Yeah, I think that's, again, I like it happens to everybody.
It does.
But this is going to help make things a little easier.
It just makes it, makes you get to a parking spot a little quicker.
Meanwhile, the tariff situation is different now because now money's going to have to go back to people. They're going to have to,
they can apply for a refund. Right?
Yeah, so the refund system for businesses that paid tariffs, which the United States Supreme Court again ruled that Donald Trump imposed without constitutional authority, they can actually start now, as a matter of fact. Importers and their brokers can start reclaiming funds through a portal, according to CBP. They're the administering administration here. And it's a complicated process that is going to maybe eventually lead to these refunds for companies or consumers that were billed for some of these tariffs at the time when they were put into place. But the government says that this process is going to be done in phases. There's going to be recent tariff payments, ones that go back a little ways. And there's technical factors and all of those things.
Will they get interest too?
Businesses are trying. I don't know about that.
Okay.
I have not seen that.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if they will get interest on that money that was taken.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Okay.
I doubt it. I doubt the federal government is going to pay people interest. It's just my guess.
Okay.
We're going to go, you're lucky you're getting this back. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm waiting for my refund from UPS.
Okay.
On some stuff that I had shipped over from Italy.
Yeah.
I had to pay The UPS driver knocks on the door, hands us our package. By the way, one of the plates, the ceramic plates or whatever, was broken. Completely busted. Didn't know it at the time. And he's like, I need a check for $71. And I'm like, why? He's like, it's a tariff. Like, we had to pay a tariff. You got to pay it. He's like, if you don't want to pay it, I'll just take the box back. Like, and I'm like, well, no.
I can't take I don't want you to take the box back.
But I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I had no idea, but UPS covered it. And they're like,
we got it. We need our money back.
Thankfully, they didn't charge me interest there.
No, but now you covered them. So
am I getting my money back from UPS? I don't know.
It's fair game, man.
I don't know. I need to know. By the way, I ordered a bunch of limoncello that was supposed to be coming for you guys. I got some for you and Jamie. And I never saw it. Emailed the people, the store we bought it from, never heard back. It's just gone. It's just in the ether somewhere.
Oh, did somebody just take it and just say, hey, we got some limoncello
somebody in the
here.
Czech Republic or something is enjoying fine limoncello. Yeah. Coming up on the other side, Dr. Wendell Anthony, the president of the NAACP here in Detroit, joins us for Freedom Week. It's coming up on JR Morning.
Life is beautiful and fragile. We fall. We get tired. And sometimes we get sick. But with Corewell Health, we are also strong. We fight disease. We battle cancer. We come together. We come back. We push forward. When the body breaks, we break through. Corewell Health. We can.
WJR and the Detroit Economic Club present our 6th annual Rising Stars campaign, sponsored by Awcom and DFCU Financial. We're on a mission to spotlight some incredible young leaders under 40 who are driving innovation and making a real difference in their respective industries and within our vibrant communities. Do you know an inspiring individual, a game changer who deserves recognition for their outstanding achievements? Tell us their story, highlight their impact, and help us honor Detroit's next generation of leaders. The deadline for nominations is May 22nd. Details at WJR.com/Rising Stars. Faulty electrical can be dangerous. Call Lighthouse Electrical for a free 30-point home inspection, plus knock off $200 on any service upgrade. Call Lighthouse Electrical at 888-915-4448. Keep your home powered with Lighthouse.
Hey there, homeowners. Living in Michigan means enjoying the beauty of all 4 seasons, but it also comes with unpredictable weather. Weather that can cause power surges, which can pose serious threats to appliances, heating and cooling systems, and expensive electronics. Crystal here from Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical to let you know that whole home surge protectors can save you thousands in potential damages and give you peace of mind. Visit familyheating.com to find the location nearest you and ask about our whole home surge protectors today. That's familyheating.com.
In the heart of Michigan, voice rings true. Fair John's coming, he got work to do. Conservative leader, just like the best. No hold bar, he's ready for the test. Quality pitches, see that's his game. Cut through the plate, calling out the name. Crooked politicians led us straight. Fair John Mitchell is here to stay. Harry Johnson's rising, gonna take a stand for families and freedom across this land. No income tax saving us that dough. 47, give us room to grow. From the field to the city, yeah, people cheer. With Harry in the lead, yeah, we got nothing to fear.
This message paid for by Perry Johnson for governor, because we must implement the mega audit to eliminate the waste and return the money to the taxpayers.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. During Springfest at Lowe's, get 3 free bags of Milkro Grow 0.75 cubic feet garden soil when you buy 3. That's 3 free reasons to lock in on landscaping. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
No crashes to slow you down on the roads. We're seeing delays in some of the usual spots. Southbound 275 between 7 Mile and M14. Same with southbound 75 between Dixie Highway and Ortonville Road. Heavy traffic on westbound 94 between Little Mac and 12 Mile. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Wow, the weather continuing to push in now. Clouds will give way to sunshine today. There could be a sprinkle of rain this morning. That southwest breeze will push us close to 70. Tonight in the mid-40s, a few clouds. Suburbs maybe a little bit cooler. Wednesday, more sunshine and 70. Then a good-looking Thursday, sunshine 75. Chance of showers Friday afternoon. For the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Well, Hakeem Jeffries is going to be in town here in a couple of days.
Yeah, he will be the guest speaker at the NAACP Fight for Freedom Fund dinner this coming Sunday. But, Freedom Week is underway here in Detroit. It's a powerful stretch of events leading up to the city's most historic and influential gatherings, the annual Fight for Freedom Fund dinner this Sunday at Huntington Place. And this week, it's all about honoring civil rights progress and highlighting ongoing challenges and bringing the community together around issues of justice, equity, and opportunity with a series of events designed to inform, inspire, and mobilize. And joining us now to break it all down, what Freedom Week represents and what's ahead, is the Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony. He is president of the Detroit NAACP Detroit branch. Reverend Anthony, good to have you back.
Good morning, sir. I could not have done that better myself. I appreciate you, man.
I learned a lot from you.
Right, I don't need to say nothing now, man. But y'all come on. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you are welcome. Tell us about Freedom Week. It starts today. A lot of things going on all this week leading up to the Fight for Freedom Fund dinner.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me again. This is Freedom Weekend. This is our 25th anniversary. I want to thank our executive director, Monica Anthony, First Lady, who's putting all this stuff together. Lord, it's going to be a great week starting today with regards to the Youth Career Day and Summit dealing with young people leaders and the fact that there are so many careers and opportunities they can have. All this is going to be held at Fellowship Chapel, 7707 West Outer Drive. It's free. That's today. And then tomorrow we have what we call, and it's going to be tremendous, a gospel explosion. That's going to be at 7 p.m. featuring Dorinda Clark Cole, one of the nation's premier gospel artists. Silence is Golden, Akita Steen and Fine, the Kingdom News Group's vendors. Eric Masters is going to be emceeing. That's free, open to the public. Again, that's open at Fellowship Chapel. Then on Thursday, we have Senior Wellness Day. Fitness, health, wellness, estate planning, finances, things that seniors need to know so they won't be scammed and they can do estate planning and avoid fraud. And then we also have on Friday Is My Labor in Vain, honoring women in the labor movement. Women have played a tremendous role in the labor movement. Were not for them, we would not be who and what we are. So we're going to pay tribute to them. Charles Zetta Wilson, who was the first African-American to sit in the post of president of the SEIU Healthcare Opportunity and Program. I didn't not mention, but I do want to mention, and it's going to be tremendous, that Father Michael Flager is going to be here from Chicago. He's coming on Thursday to do the Faith Leaders Luncheon. It's a tremendous occasion by virtue of Father Flager. He's a tremendous guy. He's a priest. And he's a different kind of priest. Y'all need to come and hear him. He has a tremendous word. And it's particularly interesting now that we have a priest to come in the age when the president is portraying himself as Jesus Christ and the Son of God. And so it's going to be interesting to hear how he puts all that together when we have such a tremendous outpouring of concern and religiosity. So we invite everybody to be a part of that. And then, Lord, again, we are not finished because it's going to be the whole week. On Saturday, we have our big town hall, the Dr. Ron Walters National Town Hall, with regards to the Detroit NAACP. And then NAACP nationally. Is the NAACP still relevant for such a time as this with all the things going on? And we say, obviously, we are. Since 1909, 117 years, the number one brand in the country, the number one brand worldwide in terms of civil rights. That's the NAACP through voting rights, civil rights. But our national leaders are coming in. Derek Johnson, President and CEO, and Kristen Clark, the new General Counsel for the NAACP. She was the Assistant U.S. Attorney General for Civil Rights under the Biden administration. And when the current president came in, he eliminated the Civil Rights Department as such, but we know that civil rights is still a right that every American should have, human rights, civil rights. And so they're coming in to deal with this. That's going to be at the Wayne County Community College Northwest District. And so we're inviting everybody to come. All of those events, Lloyd, are free until we get to Sunday. Sunday
It's going to be
afternoon.
very busy.
It's going to be busy, man. You ain't saying nothing. I'm tired already.
Yeah, I'm exhausted just hearing you talk about it.
Just talking about it.
Yeah.
So, but just think about the people that are putting it together. So it's going to be a tremendous week, Lloyd, and we're inviting everybody to come.
Well, and for someone who's listening right now, Reverend, and wants to be part of this, what's the easiest way to get involved this week?
The easiest way to get involved is to call 313-871-2007 or to go to freeinstitute.org. You need to register. You must register in order to be a part of this because we provide lunches and we provide meals. And so it's really nice to know who's coming to dinner, so to speak, so we can plan that. And Lord, I did not say anything about Sunday because, Sunday is the big day, the Fight for Freedom Fund dinner. And we're pleased to welcome Ruby Bridges, who is a woman who integrated the New Orleans school system at the age of 6 years of age. She's going to receive our James Weldon Johnson Lifetime Achievement Award. We're very pleased about that because of her work. At 6 years of age, she had to walk a gauntlet every day in a classroom by herself, just she and her teacher for 1 year. She's been fighting for civil rights since that time period. We're going to welcome the New York Attorney General, Letitia James. She's going to receive a Freedom and Justice Award for the work she's been doing, challenging the system. We're going to welcome, of course, Kristen Clark, who's going to receive the other Mary Church Terrell Freedom and Justice Award. We're welcoming as our keynote speaker, the House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, who may become the first African-American Speaker of the House, if in fact America votes in a certain way. We are also going to be honoring two local Detroiters, Dewan Dandridge, President and CEO of Black Leaders of Detroit, based upon them awarding $6 million in aid and community support for organizations that are trying to develop business, along with the Reverend Quantez Presley with our Great Expectations Award. And then we're going to pay tribute to the icon of civil rights, the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson.
Yes,
we're going to pay
absolutely.
tribute to him because of the work that he has done over the years. And all you need to say really when it comes to him is just Jesse. One word, Jesse. Everybody knows who you're talking about.
You're right. Absolutely.
So again, Lord, it's going to be tremendous, man. And we're inviting everybody, women, men, black, white, red, yellow. It's going to be mellow in the city of Detroit with the largest, most progressive, positive branch of the NAACP in the nation, and that's Detroit. Only in Detroit can we have lineups such as that.
Wendell Anthony, president of the NAACP Detroit branch. Always a pleasure having you on, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brothers. I appreciate you. Never enough time.
I know.
But we always on time. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Anthony. Boy, let me tell you, he is something else. And the Fight for Freedom Fund dinner is the largest sit-down dinner. It's in the Guinness Book. It's the largest sit-down dinner in the world.
It's amazing.
It's right down at Huntington Place.
That's very cool.
So a lot of things happening this week. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be giving you an update on the negotiations, if there are any negotiations with Iran and the United States. And we'll be talking with the Deputy Administrator of the U.S. EPA, as well as talking about how the Michigan Department of Treasury coming up with one of the largest financial literacy programs in Metro Detroit. All that and more coming up 8 o'clock hour here on JR Morning.
Whoa. Okay. This one says you get a free phone if you switch. Hey, this one also says you get a free phone if you switch.
Yeah, they all do, hon.
Wait. The T-Mobile one says families saved over $3,700 versus the other big guys in the past 5 years. And their experience plans have Netflix included, plus a year of Dash Pass by DoorDash.
Hang on. Let me see that. And a 5-year price guarantee? Oh, yeah, we're switching.
That's what I'm talking about. Do we clap now or?
I'm thinking high five.
At T-Mobile, get savings that keep stacking up.
That's value you can feel every day. Switch now at T-Mobile.
Savings based on Harris X billing snapshots from Q3 2021 to Q4 2025 among accounts with 3+ voice lines compared to AT&T and Verizon, excluding discounts, credits, and optional charges. See harrisx.com/T-Mobile. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
ITC, the nation's largest independent electricity transmission company, based right here in Michigan, is working every day across the state to modernize the grid. Learn more at itc-holdings.com.
For the latest on news, sports, and entertainment, take Mitch Albom on your drive home, 4 to 6 p.m. Stream 760 WJR live on the WJR app or at WJR.com. This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
Vote no to save your country. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump is telling Virginians in a Truth Social post as they vote there today with redistricting on the ballot ahead of the November elections. Congressman John McGuire tells Fox.
4 Republican congressional seats are at stake today, so I'm asking everyone to vote no. This is an unconstitutional, illegal power grab.
Democrats say it's necessary for Virginia to join California, countering Republican redistricting in Texas and other states.
Democrats currently hold a 6-5 edge in the state's congressional delegation. So with these redrawn districts, Democrats could turn that into a 10-1 advantage. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries urged voters yesterday to vote yes if they want a change in America.
That's Fox's Alex Hogan. The day before the 2-week ceasefire with Iran ends, with a Trump threat to resume bombing looming, it's not clear if there will be new talks in Islamabad, where Fox's Matt Finn reports.
The U.S. delegation led by the vice president has not publicly confirmed its anticipated travel here to Pakistan. This is really an hour-by-hour situation. The United States seems to be all systems go, but state media associated with the Iranian regime has been reporting that Iran has not confirmed that it's sending a delegation here to Islamabad.
Iran is angry the U.S. military blockade continues around their ports in the Strait of Hormuz, with a cargo ship intercepted Sunday. And the War Department just posted a short time ago on X, the U.S. has also taken control of a sanctioned tanker in the Indo-Pacific, adding they'll pursue vessels supporting Iran anywhere. A sheriff's deputy in bad shape in the South Carolina hospital with life-threatening injuries the morning after being shot at a traffic stop in Anderson County. Sheriff Chad McBride says.
The other deputy returned fire, and that's kind of where we're at now. The suspect is dead.
6 Americans among 13 people hospitalized in Mexico the day after a mass shooting at an ancient pyramid site. A Canadian tourist was killed. The gunman shot and killed himself. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
One crash slowing you down on the roads right now. That's northbound 75 after 4th Street. It's taking up the left lane. Seeing delays on southbound 75 between East Halley Road and Ortonville Road. Same with westbound 94 between Little Mac and 12 Mile. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Treetops Resort. Treetops' 5 distinguished courses mean every round lives up to its promise. Spectacular. Layer in the unlimited golf stay and play package, and the value becomes impossible to ignore. Quality, quantity, and consistency. Honestly, it's one of the best golf deals in Michigan. To book, call 888-TREETOPS. A mix of clouds and sunshine. Warmer today, high of 73. Right now, it's 43. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 51. Then more sunshine for tomorrow with a high of 74. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Quick story. I needed new glasses. And like many of you, I thought, well, I can go online. That's easy. But then I remembered the last time I did that, it wasn't easy. They didn't look good on me, and they weren't cheap. So then what? You can't take them back to the store. It's the web. Then I remembered Direct Optical Optique. Many of you got your glasses there. You looked great and had a wonderful experience. And that's what I remembered, the experience. I remembered Mariana, Frame Stylist of the Year, and how great she and her staff were at helping me find the right frame at a good price. And that's all we want, right? And they have 2 great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple in West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to the IKEA. Go see Mariana at Direct Optical Optique. She still knows everybody by name. 3 generations of loyal customers for a reason, because you get the attention you deserve. Direct Optical Optique in West Bloomfield and in Canton, and at OptiqueDetroit.com.
Now WJR Health Watch. Here's Lloyd Jackson.
When we talk about Parkinson's, we usually focus on the physical struggle, but the condition also navigates the landscape of the mind, affecting everything from sleep to mood. Dr. Aaron Ellenbogen is a movement disorder specialist with the Michigan Institute for Neurological Disorders in Farmington Hills, and he's also the president of the Michigan Parkinson's Foundation. I asked Dr. Ellenbogen, if we only treat the tremors and ignore the anxiety and cognitive shifts, are we actually treating the whole patient?
I think you raise a great point, because no, I don't think we are treating the whole patient in that case. Really, not a day goes by that I don't deal with lots of other issues that are associated with Parkinson's. And honestly, sleep is probably the one that we talk about the most. We've talked about the REM sleep behavior disorder. People often have trouble staying asleep, or what's called sleep maintenance insomnia. There can be bladder disturbances that wake them from sleep. And even those who are sleeping well during the course of the night often still have sleepiness during the day.
Dr. Ellenbogen talks about the one thing he wants families to discuss at the dinner table tonight to ensure their loved ones aren't suffering in silence or delaying the care they need.
If there's a problem, please make sure that you get checked out by a provider. If you think you have Parkinson's, it is not a death sentence, and there's really reasons to be optimistic in terms of the new treatments that have been developed and really our understanding of the disease in general.
For more information, call the Michigan Institute for Neurological Disorders at 248-553-0010. I'm Lloyd Jackson with WJR Health Watch.
It's another JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and streaming on WJR.com, where Michigan comes to talk.
All right, 8 o'clock hour. Good to have you watching, what's happening with Iran and these negotiations that may be happening, may not be happening. Iran says, and these reports indicate that there is a faction of the regime that believes that they should negotiate. There's a faction that believes that they shouldn't. And then you get, this type of rhetoric from the Iranian parliamentary speaker. Trump, by imposing a blockade and violating a ceasefire, seeks, in his view, to turn the negotiating table into a table of surrender or to justify renewed warmongering. We do not accept negotiations under the shadow of threat. And over the past 2 weeks, we have prepared to reveal new cards on the battlefield. I don't know what kind of cards you got.
Yeah. What do you have?
I don't know what kind of cards they have at this point. Now, it's fair to say that they did have an opportunity to regroup. But again, what does that mean? Much of their military capabilities have been taken off the table. Now, you've got drones, you've got those things that are still semi a factor here.
Yeah.
But even those aren't as big of a deal as they were several weeks ago. So, I don't know what kind of cards you got to play. I don't know what kind of new plans you could have cooked up. But I do know that it seems like they did not expect the United States to put a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz.
No, they didn't.
They did not expect the United States to enforce that blockade the way they have. And so as a result, you kind of got exposed by the fact that when you were claiming the strait was closed and these mines and all those things, you don't have much of a presence there.
They didn't feel that the United States was going to call their bluff, because they were bluffing.
It does seem that way.
It just appears that they were bluffing, and I think they're trying to bluff again. I don't know if it's going to help this time, if this ceasefire ends and no deal is signed.
Well, something that we're certainly watching at this point. Meanwhile, speaking of the Strait of Hormuz, traffic has been effectively halted there.
Mm-hmm.
There shows limited movement through the waterway. Captains and ship owners are obviously traversing it very carefully at this point. But again, the United States is got that pretty much locked down there.
Yeah.
So and into the Gulf of Oman, that's where the United States took the Tuska vessel.
Mm-hmm.
And we just haven't seen a lot of movement there, which means the blockade is working, which means the pressure on Iran is working,
They're
which
losing
means
too much money.
that $500 million a day that they're not making.
It's hurting.
It's absolutely putting a strain on what they're doing. Meanwhile, the oil markets going into the futures today, oil was down yesterday. Markets were up.
Futures are up right now.
Futures are up.
Oil
and
is oil 89.
as the reports of these talks were circulating, the markets are reacting favorably. Now, they were really favorable on Friday when the president was like, "Boy,
all but done.
We're right here.
Yeah,
we're right at the 5-yard line."
Yeah,
feels like they had to take a loss, so they're back at the 20 now, trying to figure out how to get back.
Yeah,
we'll see what that means, but certainly at this point, the possibility of negotiations are still very much up in the air.
Water levels at the Sheboygan Lock and Dam complex dipped slightly yesterday, dropping nearly 3/8 of an inch. As state officials say, conditions are slowly improving. The Sheboygan River remains high, but officials report that no rain in the forecast and say current safeguards appear to be holding. The river sat just under 8 inches below the top of the dam yesterday, with state crews continuing around-the-clock efforts to manage the water flow. And officials with the Department of Natural Resources say multiple upstream dams are operating normally, while contingency plans remain in place if the conditions worsen. Now, under Michigan's Ready, Set, Go system, residents near the river being told to stay prepared in case evacuation orders are issued if water rises to within an inch of the dam's crest. Engineers say flooding is not expected unless water exceeds the dam by roughly a foot, thanks to sandbagging and massive pump operations moving hundreds of millions of gallons daily. Officials emphasizing that the situation is still fluid, but say coordinated efforts across multiple dams and emergency systems are helping stabilize one of northern Michigan's most closely watched flood threats. So
good news there.
Good news, man.
Good news. Good news that it's not rising.
No.
Anything that's not rising is good news at this point.
3/8 of an inch. Doesn't seem like a lot.
Doesn't seem like a lot.
But, compared to where we were and where it is now, I mean, they're, 8 inches below. That's pretty good.
Detroit Metro Airport introducing new technology, which uses colored lights to help drivers identify if there are spots available in a particular part of the McNamara garage. Now, it's not fully rolled out yet, but they're testing it at this point. And so if there's a green light down one of the rows, means that there's spots available. If there's red lights down the row, that means there is no spots available. So if you're in a pinch, and you just got to whip in there, find a spot and get out, this might help, because now you just look down the rows, and if you see red lights, don't go down there.
That's right.
Ain't no point trying to waste time trying to find something down there.
Exactly.
Go and find another spot. I find that to be pretty cool. I think that's going to be really helpful.
Very helpful.
But they're talking about not actually rolling it out in totality until potentially later this year.
Yeah, that's and then once they do it there in the McNamara garage, they're expected to roll it out in the Big Blue deck as well.
Oh, sure. Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know how this wouldn't work. Like, they're saying that they're testing it.
Yeah.
Maybe just to, maybe they have to.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's certainly going to be.
Because you want to make sure if a car pulls out of a space and it had a red, arrow that it turns green, that we got a space open.
True.
You
True.
don't want it to stay red.
Again, it feels like this is going to be something that they're going to put in full time.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Big Blue deck.
There's got to be other airports who do this.
Correct.
Yeah, so
correct.
Yeah.
And everybody's got a different system.
Sure.
Right. I don't. There's a garage. Is it the Huntington garage, where as you're going up the ramp, it'll say, like, a sign at one of the exit points to get in to one of the decks. It'll say like 0 spots open or 10 spots open, things like that. That's helpful.
It is.
So anything that gives you an indication if there's spots available, it's going to be good.
Students at the University of Detroit Mercy are using some innovative innovation to help improve mobility and independence for people with disabilities. Through the school's Faces on Design program, engineering and nursing students teamed up over several months to create assistive devices for community members in need. Now, among the inventions showcased is a device that helps wheelchair users get into cars, another that assists with moving household items from a vehicle to a porch, and an all-in-one grabbing and reaching tool. Now, the device was created for Rochester Hills resident Richard Dries, who was left partially paralyzed after a fall in 2014, but has regained some mobility over time. Students say their goal was simple. Improving quality of life through practical solutions. Faculty involved in the program say the collaboration mirrors real-world problem solving, bringing together different areas of expertise to design technology that can make everyday tasks easier and more accessible. That is good stuff that these kids are coming up with to help those that need that assistance. That
Certainly.
in wheelchairs and things.
Tigers lose to the Red Sox 8-6 yesterday.
I thought they were a little grimy. I thought they were going to come back. But,
Yeah.
couldn't
Couldn't quite get it done.
No.
Red Sox scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th, and that
Yes.
was good enough. They come home today. They got a date with the Brewers, 6:40 tonight.
Okay.
First pitch against Milwaukee. Coming up on the other side, the EPA in town talking about how to lower gas prices. We'll talk to David Fatui, the Deputy Administrator of the U.S. EPA, next on JR Morning.
Harry Johnson's rising, gonna take a stand for families and freedom across this land. No income tax saving us that dough. 47, give us room to grow. From the fields to the city, hear the people cheer. With Harry in the lead, got nothing to fear. So here's to the future, let's make it bright. Barry Johnson's lead, we'll win this fight. Together in Michigan, well, a new dawn will rise. With a true conservative, yeah, well, let's reach for the sky.
This message paid for by Perry Johnson, our governor, because we must implement the mega audit to eliminate the waste and return the money to the taxpayers.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at radiodirect.com/privacy. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text BEST to 797979 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text BEST to 797979 for a link to your exclusive offer. Text BEST to 797979. That's BEST to 797979.
These statements and products have not been evaluated or approved by the FDA for weight loss.
Clark Construction Company is one of the premier construction managers in Michigan for K-12 education. They assist districts with bond planning, facility assessments, and bond campaigns. They manage the construction to help districts fulfill their promise to their community till the school doors open on time for fall, all while keeping students and staff's safety top of mind. Clark's breadth of capabilities ensures that they can meet their clients' needs every time on every front. Details at clarkcc.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen every Sunday at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. A conversation on all things education, from parents and students to educators and policymakers. School Talks is dedicated to in-depth discussions and analysis with experts on a wide range of topics in education. Sponsored by Collins and Blaha, attorneys at law, specializing in the representation of school districts. Collins and Blaha, your education experts. collinsandblaha.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by MGM Grand Detroit. Legendary Terry Fader is bringing his pure imagination Once Upon a Voice tour to MGM Grand Detroit, Saturday, May 30th. A spectacular night featuring impressions, comedy, and ventriloquism. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Northbound 75 after 4th Street, an accident's blocking the left lane. We have a crash off to the right shoulder of northbound 75 at Springwells. Slow travel on southbound 75 between Holly and Ortonville roads. Also delays on westbound 94 between Little Mac and 12 Mile. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Weingarts. When you think about equipment that's built to last, John Deere's always at the top of the list. You'll find them at Weingarts, where they stand behind what they sell. Visit Weingarts.com to learn more. That's the Weingarts way. Here's your forecast.
Start to see the numbers now come back a bit as we're looking at about 70 degrees as we get on into the afternoon. Now this morning, still some clouds around. There might be a sprinkle of rain, but most of us will lose that and get that sun back. Tonight, some clouds, about 47. Suburbs will get a little cooler. Wednesday, sunny, 70. Thursday, sunny, 75. Chance of showers Friday afternoon, 75. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
I'm Kevin Dees. Coming up on All Talk, the latest on the war, talks with Jonathan Savage. Roshini Rajkumar joins us to talk about the mystery of missing scientists, and reports of gas theft are rising across the country. Thieves are using increasingly sophisticated methods to siphon fuel. What can authorities do to prevent these crimes? All Talk is 9 to noon. You can stream us anytime at WJR.com.
So last month, the EPA issued a temporary emergency fuel waiver to allow nationwide sales of E15 gasoline, that's 15% ethanol. And they've also removed federal impediments to selling E10 gasoline, that's your standard regular gas, all across the country. And the effort here is to bring gas prices down. And the EPA actually in town to talk about this today. David Fatui is the Deputy Administrator of the EPA and joins us this morning. David, it's good to have you.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
So what's going on today? What's the topic of conversation as you try to take away some of these restrictions on gasoline?
Well, we're here in the area to advance our plans to revitalize and work to support the domestic automotive industry. We had some great meetings yesterday with some specialty equipment suppliers and some other associations here in the area. But as you said, we recently took pretty decisive action to allow the year-round sale of E15 and to take down those impediments to E10 gasoline. And the goal of those actions really is to do everything we can to reduce the price of fuel at the pump for everyone in this area and across the country.
Is this primarily an energy security issue or economic issue or an environmental one, or how do you balance all three in this effort?
Well, from day one, Administrator Lee Zeldin has been laser focused on protecting human health and the environment, but also ensuring that we're producing more energy domestically and that we're bringing down costs for consumers. And so our agenda over the last 15 plus months has been really targeted at taking away a number of regulations that have really been misguided. They've worked to increase costs, but they haven't brought those environmental or health benefits that they were touted to bring. And they've also made it more difficult to produce energy here domestically in the U.S. And as you all know well, we do it better here in the U.S., more sustainably and cleaner than anywhere else in the world. So we're trying to balance all of that to make sure that we're delivering for the American people and reducing prices, doing everything that we can to do that. But we're definitely focused on protecting human health and the environment along the way.
Obviously, the oil markets with the war in Iran ongoing, the oil markets have been all over the place. The cost of a gallon of a barrel of oil has gone up and down on the roller coaster. Are you seeing the benefits of these doing away with some of these regulations? And do you know exactly how that's affecting the cost of a gallon of gas at the pump?
we're tracking fuel prices very closely, and we're coordinating with our other federal partners, including at the Department of Energy. As we look at and project the amount of cost savings that a number of our actions will bring, we're looking in the neighborhood of billions, tens of billions of dollars. The best way to reduce any type of reliance on foreign fuel is to produce more domestically. So we're working to make it easier for permitting, full-on approach to get permitting reform through. We're working on reducing the regulatory burden for domestic producers and refineries. The whole point of that is to reduce costs. And our projections show that will reduce costs by tens of billions of dollars. And that will you will start to see an effect at the pump once those regulatory burdens are fully taken away and flexibilities like the fuel waivers that we issued kick in.
And what's the timeline on something like that kind of being completed?
Well, we've already completed a number of actions. In fact, just last month, we completed a recent action to take away some of the more restrictive requirements on domestic oil and gas production.
Okay.
The fuel waivers kick in May 1st, and we're looking very closely at whether we will need to extend those beyond the May time period. And it's something we're prepared to do if we still see the effect on prices from the uncertainty in the markets.
David, there are also some new findings you're addressing around this diesel exhaust fluid. What exactly is the concern there? And should truck drivers and fleet operators or consumers be worried about safety or supply disruptions?
Well, Administrator Zeldin and I have heard firsthand from truck drivers. We've heard from farmers. We've heard from folks that use equipment that relies on that DEF fluid. And they're telling us that their systems are not working properly, and that even if their DEF tanks are full, that they're experiencing rapid reductions in speed and other problems that are causing them not just inconvenience, but safety concerns. So, we are addressing this head on. We've issued directives to manufacturers that inform them of ways to address this issue, direct them to revise software for vehicles that are already on the road rather. And we're taking new action just recently to change the standards moving forward so that these so-called deratements, these like rapid reductions in speed that sometimes happen during a malfunction, that those are taken away and are no longer part of these DEF systems. So we're addressing it in a multi-pronged approach, and we're really doing everything we can because we've heard loud and clear that this is a problem that needs to be fixed.
Yep, certainly. David Fatui, thanks so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. And we're watching very closely the gas prices for folks in our community, and we'll talk again very soon, certainly.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tim Cook stepping down as the head of Apple.
End of an era.
It is to a certain extent, and obviously things have gone very well for Apple under Tim Cook's direction. But there are some, I think, there are some real now important things that John Turnus is going to have to deal with as the incoming CEO. Like, for example, what happens, like AI or Apple needs to get more involved in the AI space.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that they've done is they've signed a deal with Google, with Gemini, and they're trying to incorporate that into Siri. But they haven't done that yet. Obviously, he'll have a much better springboard than what Tim Cook had.
Yeah.
But that's something that they have to work on pretty diligently after Tim Cook steps down.
And my thing is, they've been so much on the cutting edge when it comes to smartphones and those types of things. I'm wondering, do they stabilize or they continue to innovate like they always have?
Well, and the other part too is, you've got Apple TV.
Yeah.
So you've got, they want to be a competitor for Netflix, for example. And there's a ton of really good shows on Apple TV.
They are.
Probably the most famous one, Ted Lasso. Great show. Severance, another great show. The Morning Show. A lot of really good programs on Apple TV. But again, it's like another piece of the apple pie.
Yeah,
that they have to
speak.
They have to figure out. Pun intended there. Coming up on the other side, Donald Trump says that this ceasefire that's set to expire tomorrow he's unlikely to extend it. We'll talk about that coming up next on JR Morning.
Hey, did you hear? Cash Pop now draws 8 times every hour. Double the draws, double the chances to win. Cash Pop from the Michigan Lottery.
Few things are truly timeless, because to last, you can't stand still. That's the beauty of Michigan. You can feel it everywhere, like a fresh breeze on a riverfront stroll, or how the nightlife hums with electricity, like an old friend with new stories to tell. So let the excitement bring you back and bring you together, season after season, in pure Michigan. Find your season at michigan.org.
Awareness is a start, but acceptance creates change. This April, join fellow Michiganders for Autism Acceptance Month. Help build a world where everyone truly belongs. Take the next step at autism-mi.org. Accept, include, support.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Inside Retirement with Brett Brzezinski of the Brzezinski Group, Tuesday nights at 7 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Inside Retirement with Brett Brzezinski, Tuesday nights at 7. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen every Sunday at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by respected educator Dr. Robert Livernoy. It's a conversation on all things education, from parents and students to educators and policymakers. School Talks is dedicated to in-depth discussions and analysis with experts on a wide range of topics in education. Sponsored by Wakely Associates Architects. The highest performing school facilities start with premier architectural design. Wakely Associates Architects, trusted since 1951.
You're hearing the great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. The ceasefire deal between the U.S. and Iran expires tomorrow. President Trump posting on Truth Social, Iran has violated the ceasefire numerous times. Fox's Matt Finn in Pakistan.
The U.S. delegation led by the vice president has not publicly confirmed its anticipated travel here to Pakistan. This is really an hour-by-hour situation. The Iranian regime has been reporting that Iran has not confirmed that it's sending a delegation here to Islamabad.
Voting underway in Virginia, Democrats want to redraw the congressional maps.
It's been called the most gerrymandered map in the entire country. And now it's why rural Virginians are standing up saying, no, do not disenfranchise our voices.
Former State Attorney General Jason Muir earlier on Fox and Friends. About 1.3 million people voted early. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. During Lowe's Deck Days, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5 amp hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. Shop the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Few problems along 75 this morning. Northbound at 4th Street, an accident's taking up the 2 left lanes. Traffic slow from Outer Drive. Northbound 75 at Springwells, crash off to the right shoulder. Slow traffic on southbound 75 between Holly Road and Ortonville Road. And then southbound 75 after Sashabaw, debris is in the 2 right lanes. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Mix of clouds and sunshine today with a high of 73. Right now, it's 43. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 51. Sunshine tomorrow, high of 74. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
In a town built on grit, there's one voice that cuts through the noise. JR Afternoon with Ryan Ermani.
Coming up Wednesday on JR Morning, the White House will join us to talk about the border. We'll find out why Lansing's blocking a crackdown on cases of people fleeing police. And we'll hear about companies using AI from a professor who collaborates with an AI twin of himself. Yeah, you heard that right. 6 till 9 right here on WJR, WJR.com, the free WJR app, and of course, streaming live on WJR's Facebook page and on YouTube. Is that good?
And Denise will shine a light on public service, what great leadership looks like, cultural building, both of their fathers, and sports. Listen Saturday, 4 p.m. to The Denise Elliott Show, sponsored by the Secure Financial Group on the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR.
It's Ryan Armani with Eric from Paramount Roofing. When you hear 5-star experience, what does that mean to you?
To me, it means communicating exactly what we are doing to your home, having respect for your home, delivering the best quality material, crew, and the one we take pride in, satisfaction guaranteed. At Paramount Roofing, we bring the 5-star experience to every roofing project with no deposit required.
Get a 5-star roofing experience with Paramount and get 5 years, 0% interest financing at weareroofing.com. That's weareroofing.com.
At Michigan Auto Law, we know a thing or two about winning. After all, we're Michigan's most awarded auto accident law firm. But what matters more than any trophy or title? The life-changing settlements we win for our clients year after year. Just ask Anastasia Perales.
Josh and Jordan were in constant contact with me, checking on my recovery, my kids, even how my injuries were affecting my daily life.
If you've been hurt in a car accident, go to autolaw.com. We'll fight for the settlement you deserve. Michigan Auto Law. People over everything.
Two pianos dueling for a cause. Join us Saturday, May 9th at Elevate at One Campus Martius for Keys for Cancer. An unforgettable evening of high energy, dueling pianos, laughter, friendship, and all with a purpose. Hot Pink Helpers provides financial and emotional support for our families, friends, and neighbors facing cancer when they need it the most. Dueling for a Cause, Saturday, May 9th. Find your tickets today at hotpinkhelpers.com.
Stick around for All Talk at 9 with Kevin Dietz. Then Focus with Paul W. Smith at noon on 760 WJR and on the WJR app. Now it's JR Morning. Here's Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
So, interesting piece out of PBS, as a matter of fact. One of their White House correspondents, Liz Landers, talked to Donald Trump on the phone yesterday, and I'll give you a couple of things that he said. The president was asked what happens if the ceasefire expires tomorrow evening.
Mm-hmm.
He said then lots of bombs start going off. Is Iran still participating in the talks that'll be happening in Islamabad? Will they still be there? He said, I don't know. I mean, they're supposed to be there. We agreed to be there, although we didn't, although they say we didn't. But no, it was set up, and we'll see whether or not it's there. If they're not there, that's fine too. And Liz Landers asked, what do you want from the negotiating team in Islamabad? No nuclear weapons. Very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. He was also asked about Secretary Chris Wright on CNN, saying that gas prices won't be lower than $3 until later this year. And she asked if that was a concern for the midterms. He says, I totally disagree with him. I think it'll come roaring down if it ends. If we end it, if Iran does what they should do, it'll come roaring down, meaning the cost of gas at the pump. This comes as the Iranians are calling for the release of this cargo vessel that was seized by the United States on Sunday, as well as its sailors, crew, and their families. Iran has vowed to retaliate for the seizure of this vessel. And again, Wednesday evening Washington time is when this ends. It doesn't sound like J.D. Vance, the vice president, has left yet.
Okay.
So they are expected to depart sometime today. But this second round of talks is a lot different than the first because Iran rolled heavy. They brought over 70 people to these talks the first time around in Islamabad. And now we don't know if they're going to show up or not. Reports indicate that they don't know, that there's factions of the regime that don't want to be there, that do want to be there. And so there is that looming over their head. There is on Thursday a second round of talks between Lebanon and Israel. And those are still planned as they were.
Is Marco Rubio part of that?
He was initially. I would assume he does have some role here. I haven't seen that. I can do a little digging into that, but yes, those are ongoing as well. So it begs the question of, well, then what happens next? Well, obviously, a lot of that is going to depend on if the Iranians show up.
Yeah,
for these talks.
Yeah. And if the ceasefire, if they don't, and the ceasefire expires, then we'll see what the president does. If he's going to follow through and do what he said he was going to do. just away from the Iran and U.S. deal, a lot of reporters seem to have his phone number.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
It's interesting.
Never known that, the president to be on the phone and, these reporters doing these interviews basically on the phone. Like, I just got off the phone with the president and he told me X, Y, and Z, I mean, that's just different.
It is different.
Very, much access. I give it to him. He's giving them access.
Yeah, and it's not always long. It's not, a long sit down.
Right, exactly.
45-minute interview.
That's right.
Or an hour or anything like that. It's generally just a couple of minutes. You ask a couple of questions. And he's like, I got to go.
Yep.
I'll talk to you later. But it is good because one of the things that, again, Donald Trump thrives amongst I don't necessarily want to say chaos, but when there's a lot going on, he's really good at reading the room and figuring out where to go. Now, you may not like that if you're a Democrat, but that's the reality. And I think Donald Trump sometimes creates that environment to just see what the landscape is. Again, whether you like that or not, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
And so what he does tend to do, though, is he'll say different things to different people.
He will.
And it'll create, well, what is it this? Is it that? And everybody's talking about the confusion or the unclear path forward.
Yeah.
But I think that's done purposefully.
Well, and some of his administration will say something totally different too. And then the president will come on and say, no, I don't think it's like that.
Right.
Like with the gas.
Correct.
With the gas prices.
Correct. So I think that there's an element to that as well. But again, a lot of this is going to hinge on whether or not the Iranians show up. And if Donald Trump is going to stay true to that. Now, there's an opportunity here where the Iranians show up and we don't come to a deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's possible too. Because one of the things that the president had talked about Friday, particularly at that Turning Point USA event, was the Iranians are going to turn over all of their enriched uranium.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a collaborative effort between the Iranians and the United States, which seems dangerous, but there's going to be that framework there that they're not going to pursue building a nuclear weapon. And as a result, the United States is going to pull their blockade back at the Strait of Hormuz, and traffic will be able to go through as normal. Except the president did also say that he's not going to do that until everything's signed.
Yeah.
Which now things have changed since Friday, obviously.
Yes.
So a lot of this is going to hinge on whether or not the Iranians show up. And if they don't show up, what is the read on if they are going to make a deal in the near term? So if they don't show up, but the president feels that there's
still some talking maybe going on behind the scenes or something
maybe
like that.
the ceasefire gets extended.
Yeah.
Also, Donald Trump saying just this morning that he expects the United States to make a great deal with Iran. That's the latest. That he expects to make a great deal with Iran. So if those expectations aren't met, again, what happens next?
Yeah.
Something that we'll find out throughout the day today.
And maybe that's, that's a word to Iran. I expect this to get done because you know what the consequences are if they don't.
Correct. Also, Donald Trump's Federal Reserve Chair nominee, Kevin Warsh, said yesterday that the central bank must be largely independent of political influence, but also should stay focused on its primary goals. He's going to be speaking to the Senate Banking Committee today during a confirmation hearing. And he'll face a lot of criticism, obviously, because Donald Trump has been very critical of the Fed, in particular Jerome Powell.
Yeah.
He feels that he has not been bullish enough in lowering interest rates. And but Kevin Warsh said the Fed must stay in its lane. Fed independence is placed at greatest risk when it strays into fiscal and social policies where it has neither authority nor expertise, is a piece of what he's going to say today.
Okay.
So he's also saying, though, that the primary goals of what the Fed are. So he's kind of towing that line, which is going to be good in the confirmation process. That'll help him.
To help him. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But it's interesting that he's saying the Fed's got to stay in its lane. You've got to stay apolitical for the most part, because once you start deviating, you get into some trouble and you lose the focus of what the Fed is supposed to do. I find that to be pretty interesting. Meanwhile, coming up on the other side, we're going to talk about the Michigan Department of Treasury. They are launching a financial literacy program in Metro Detroit, and it's the largest in history. And again, when you look at our literacy here in the state of Michigan, it is, well below standard.
Yes.
It is well below where we should be.
Mm-hmm.
And so is this going to help things? We'll talk about that coming up on the other side here on JR Morning.
I didn't switch to Pure Talk just because I wanted to save 50% off the same 5G service I've been paying twice as much for. I switched because I like the idea of being in business with a wireless company that supports our veterans in a meaningful way. Pure Talk also creates American jobs every day by keeping their entire operation in this country. I appreciate that. If you feel the same, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Looking to get organized? Turn to shelving.com for storage solutions built around you. From small wire shelving projects to full Uno-Rack pallet racking systems, their team designs and equips turnkey facilities tailored to your exact needs. Get started at shelving.com, your partner in smarter storage.
Shelving.com, shelving.com. We rack your world.
Hey there, JR listeners. Chris Alberta from Principium. Look, I have an urgent message for you today about your retirement. I don't care if you already retired, you're a few months away, or you're a few years away. You're going to be unemployed soon. And you probably don't have a pension because you are your pension. Recent all-time highs in the market. Look, you're at the top of the mountain. And now we're in an Iranian conflict. AI might replace your job. And like it or not, you could be retired as long as you were working. But despite all that, it's the best time I have ever seen in my career to build you a retirement plan. The fixed rates are unbelievably good. Income models are killing it. You combine that with top-notch market management, and you're going to win. If you wait, you will lose. These rates will go down. You remember the 4% rule? My clients are using the 7% rule. They'll always have a paycheck, and that's freedom. Don't wait. Call me now, 888-800-8949. Call me, Chris Alberta, 888-800-8949.
Spring into a pain-free life at the Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and Bad Axe. Hi, it's Paul W. Smith. Thousands of people, like, Kim and me, are happier and healthier since our chronic back, neck, and knee pain are gone, thanks to Dr. Saul Kogan. His gentle, relaxing, non-surgical, non-invasive intra-disc neutrosis and knee restore RX treatments stimulate the body's self-repair healing process. If you have spinal stenosis, herniated, bulging, or degenerative discs, sciatica pain, or numbness, tingling, or burning in your hands, arms, or legs, there is help. When you mention WJR in April, you'll get a consultation, examination, X-ray or MRI review, and a laser treatment for just $49 for your first visit at the Nerve and Disc Institute. Want to avoid surgery? Call 586-416-DISC, 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472, 586-416-3472. Mention WJR. Call now.
Play Weingart's Mow Master Challenge. You could win $500 toward a new mower or lawn equipment. A healthy lawn is a happy lawn, and you need quality tools to keep yours growing green. Here's your Mow Master question. In the spring when grass grows quickly, what is the recommended mowing frequency? Text keyword lawn followed by your answer to 800-859-0957. Need a hint? Find answers and official rules at WJR.com.
Everything from lawn to snow.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then you find a deal that actually feels like a win. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises, all on Verizon's 5G network. Find it in the same place you've always found straightforward prices, exclusively at Walmart and straighttalk.com.
Few problems slowing you down on the roads right now. Northbound 75 after Ford Street. An accident's taking up the 2 left lanes. Traffic slow from Southfield Road. Northbound 75 at Springwells. An accident in the 2 right lanes there. A disabled vehicle has a center lane blocked on westbound 94 after Mount Elliott. Traffic heavy from Outer Drive. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
After our bit of an April cool down, temperatures will start rebounding as we go through the next few days. Might just be a sprinkle of rain this morning, but the clouds go away to sunshine by lunchtime, around there, let's say. And then sunshine 70 this afternoon. Tonight, 47, some clouds, suburbs a bit cooler. Wednesday, sunny 70. Mostly sunny Thursday, 75. Friday near 75, maybe a few showers in the afternoon. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stageicon on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
You know, we talk a lot about state testing for grade school kids, right? And how important it is to be able to read, to be able to do math at grade level. It's so important because those things then set you up for future success. If you're able to beat those standards, then you got a little bit of a head start. Sure. Now, one of the things where I wish our school systems did a better job was financial literacy. I wish that we taught that more because it's so vitally important. As a kid, you don't understand it. As a teenager, you don't understand it. But once you hit the real world, you'll understand it when those bills start rolling in and all of a sudden you haven't quite managed your money the way you should.
You get that credit card for $500 and you just end up just running it up. And
exactly.
You don't take care of it. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because the Michigan Department of Treasury has unveiled the My Money Matters financial literacy campaign. And it's geared toward both young people and old people who are maybe not where they would like to be financially in the world. And this gives them a springboard to financial literacy. Robin Lott is the Bureau Director, Savings, Access, and Financial Empowerment Bureau with the Michigan Department of Treasury and joins us this morning. Robin, it's great to have you. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about this program, rolling it out. Tell us a little bit about it and how impactful it can be.
So what we found, we did a little research and found that many Michiganders have issues with saving, with high debt, so on and so forth. So what we did was put together a website, and we also pushed out this financial literacy campaign that can hopefully engage the residents of Michigan to further do some work in this space and learn how to better handle their finances. And yes, we now have a high school graduate requirement so that starting with the class of 2027 or 8, I think it's 28, the high school students will be required to take at least a half credit of financial literacy in order to graduate high school. So I think we are making some progress in this space and real excited about it.
You know, nearly 80% of Metro Detroiters earning under $125,000 say they never received formal financial education. How does a gap that large even happen in the first place?
Exactly, right? So we need to get on our job and do a better job of connecting folks with some resources. And I think it's helpful that all these resources are free. And so for starters, if we can get people to go to the mimoneymatters.org website, they'll find an opportunity to take on or take a test called a money personality test. Okay, we're going to identify where are you in this whole financial journey. And then we're going to serve up content that's going to reflect and meet you where you are. So budgeting, behavioral finance, emergency fund, right? Some of the core things that can help you be successful in the future.
How is a program like this being funded?
We have Balmer Group that is supporting our campaign with a $1.5 million grant. And we hope, and that campaign is really going to be primarily focused in Southeast Michigan. We're hopeful that in the future, as we engage more partners, we'll be able to make this a statewide campaign. But right now, the kickoff is for Southeast Michigan.
And, you know, for some families, there's also that trust issue with banks and financial institutions, you know, and how does In My Money Matters address that cultural and the historical hesitation? Because I remember my grandmother back in the day, man, she kept that money in the mattress. She didn't
Right.
trust
I
the
know what you
bank.
mean. Right. I had a little different experience, but I know exactly what you mean. Well, basically, we will be connecting with community leaders and directly with communities. And what we're planning to do is not only do an ad campaign. So you may see some television ads, you may see some billboards down in the city. You also may see a lot of social media going on to drive people to the website. But in the community, we're connecting with banks and credit unions that can come out to the neighborhood to say, hey, here's what we have, and hopefully familiarize and connect with folks in the neighborhood to get them to feel a little bit more comfortable about banking. And if nothing else, to learn more about it so that they understand that banking can be your friend and not your foe, and help you not take out, I heard you guys talking about racking up credit cards.
Right.
I think knowledge is power. And so the more you understand how that credit card thing really works and how much less money is really in your pocket than in the bank's pocket, could help someone become more familiar and comfortable with banking.
Yeah, and it's obviously really beneficial for younger people, but even if you're a little older and you're behind the eight ball a little bit, this can be really helpful too. So it
really can.
It's a really interesting program. Where are you at on this? This is pretty new. How long do you expect? Is this just something that you expect to be part of the repertoire now for the Treasury?
We would love for this to be, into the future for years and years. So this is hopefully a kickoff of a very long-standing project. But for now, the campaign will run through the summer, at which point we will do some more research, follow-up research, and report out to Balmer Group. And then we'll apply for a second-year grant in hopes to make it even bigger for next year.
He's a Detroit native. He should reach into those pockets.
He's doing a fantastic job, let me tell you.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, really good stuff. Robin Lott, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it this morning.
Thank you. You all have a great day.
Yeah, you do the
as
same.
well.
How about my man, Jamie Ding?
Man.
27 in a row on Jeopardy. Okay, here, I'm a little off kilter. All right,
Well, yeah, of course I do.
We've had some conversations during the break today that prove that.
Like, okay.
But that's not for air or FCC approval.
Okay, go ahead.
Poor Lloyd. I put him through the ringer in here.
Listen,
He's just like,
I
what's
learn
the
so
matter
much
with
every
you?
day.
What is the matter with this guy? Anyway, my question is, you go, look, you were on Family Feud.
Yeah.
Does Family Feud roll over? Like if you win, you go to the next week?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you, when you and your family were on Family Feud, when you packed to go,
okay.
You packed your luggage.
Yeah.
How many outfits did you bring? How many pairs of clothes did you bring?
I wore my suit that I was going to wear on the show, and
one suit,
and just some shirts and some shorts.
Yeah.
Stuff. California was nice.
Right. So Jamie Ding gets called up to go to Jeopardy.
Okay.
Like I would imagine the same thing, right? You bring a sweater, you bring a sport coat, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But what happens when you're there for 27 consecutive games?
Well,
you can't wear the same thing.
No.
They're going to put a montage up there of him of all the games that he's played in and won. You can't have the same shirt on.
I mean, you could, but just wherever you stand, you just have him wash it.
He's like calling home, I need you to overnight me
or maybe
6 more outfits.
Listen, the man is winning all this money. They probably like, hey, man, go shopping.
27.
We know you got it.
Yeah, right. 27th consecutive win. He has won $753,000.
Wow.
$753,000. That's the 5th most money won all time on Jeopardy. If he wins 6 more games, he will surpass James Holzhauer.
Oh, wow.
Also, I love Ken Jennings. There was a clip on social media that said if he gets up to that 75th game and wins it, a trap door will just open up beneath him and he'll fall through. And Jamie Ding will assume hosting duties. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Native of Grosse Pointe, lives in Jersey now.
Well,
we
good,
won't hold
man.
that against him.
No.
I was reading a story in the Detroit News, and his family's just sitting in their living room watching him. Can you imagine 27 in a row?
27 in a row. I'm telling you, he's a bot.
I know you say he's a robot.
He's a bot.
I just think he's very, very smart.
Okay.
Very smart.
That
dude.
too.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Kevin Dietz and I'll talk coming up next. See ya.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy or